customer bought I sold Fords. I sold new Fords and used Fords in North Point up on Mansell Road.
There you go.
And I liked that a lot. I was 19 or 20 at the time, and it was good money and a ton of hours, but I didn't give a shit. And so sold this guy a brand new F-150 4-door, I don't know, probably a $42,000 truck or something like that. Making money on it for sure, maybe 8,000 gross or something like that.
Very strong.
It's a great day. It's a great day. Everybody's very happy. You know, he's in the box. He's in finance, getting all written up and everything. Car has been detailed. It's either been detailed or it's about to be detailed, but it's definitely at the BP across the street getting fueled up. That's where we fill everything up, obviously, before we give it to the customer.
There you go.
Salesman goes in, paying for the gas and a little card or whatever, comes back out, and the truck is gone.
Hey!
He left the bitch running. And this brand new, detailed up, fucking full tank of gas, brand new top of the line F-150 is gone in the wind. And whoever took it wasn't some like looky-loo who was like, oh shit, a free truck? Okay. It was someone who must have been sitting at that BP and had been like, this is a good way for us to steal a car in our car stealing business, guys. Because they must have had it on a rollback or something, like immediately. Because they immediately call the cops. Cops are immediately called.
Immediately.
A car hauler. They must have like had it in a trailer or something. Because we never found that truck. Mm-mm. And you got to go to the customer and be like, I know you love that white F-150, but how you feel about blue? You know, I'm a blue man. It's like that scene from Pulp Fiction. Are you an oak man, Jimmy? Wouldn't you rather have blue? And talked him into a blue one instead somehow, and just had to slide a different set of documents in front of the gentleman.
Was it otherwise the same, or were there some other?
Yeah. We had so many like everybody in Atlanta wants to pick up that truck, and up in Alpharetta, everybody's doing very well for themselves, and they want a top of the line one. So we're just stocked with like every variation of that truck, like, oh, but this one has this. There'll be just one minor thing different with all of them, like just the full kit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it worked out nicely, but it was just a terrifying moment because we're trying to keep him busy so that he doesn't know that his truck's been stolen while we try to recover it, and then we realize we're not going to be able to recover it, and it's just.
How about the guy responsible for like leaving it unattended and running it? What kind of trouble is he in?
None at all. Just very lenient with that sort of thing. I was going to ask you this question because
sorry, Mr. Kyle.
He was a Nigerian actually, and enormous. He was not going to apologize to me. Enormous gentleman.
I am so sorry, Mr. Kyle.
That's what he sounded like. And he sold 20 a month every month. He was the man. And but in exotics, I was going to ask, like on our dealership, it was very common for a salesman to maybe take a used car home overnight and just take it out for a spin. Maybe a Porsche Boxster will come in or something like that. Hey, before we let this thing run through detail and everything, I'm just going to take it. And you wouldn't really ask permission. You'd just do it. And no one really seemed to care. And people would get somebody would do it, and some jerk, I thought, would be like, hey, boss, Alex took out the Beamer. He took it out. And he went to lunch in it. He went to lunch in the used Beamer. And the boss is like, I don't fucking care. I got 14 acres of product out here. You coming to me for that? Go sell a car. Why are you here? Why aren't you up there? Make some phone calls. Get out of here. They didn't care. I gotta imagine it's not quite so lenient maybe with exotic cars when you're talking about a vehicle worth $200,000-$300,000.
That is very sensitive to miles. So it's in most cases, they notice the miles on stock in, and if it varies a great deal, there needs to be a good reason. Now, we did a lot of events, so I spent a lot of time driving the cars, and I was actually talking to somebody today. I was like, the novelty of driving someone else's interesting car gets lost on you pretty fast because you're kind of incurring a lot of risk, not only with potentially money, but with whatever the relationship capital is there. It's just not really worth it. But we definitely had guys take them home, and we had a guy crash in Orange Murcielago, spun it around and hit something, leaving a gas station on his way back in because, you mentioned you had to go put gas in the car to sell it because every dealership leaves all the cars that are on the showroom floor or on the lot empty, because obviously you'd have a tremendous amount of dollars tied up in gasoline if you fill them all up. But you can't sell one empty, but you could sell one on 7/8. And so you would save money by filling them up at the beginning, and you would decrease the times that cars have to go to the gas station, which is a great place to get them stolen, have them catch on fire sometimes with exotics, or, just get hit because it's just low speed, lots of different moving directions. And so it's a really stupid practice, but it's one of those things that's just old school car business. It's how we always did it.
Yeah.
So the magic of driving awesome cars is kind of gone. Like if you had to go somewhere for 3 hours away and I said, here's a McLaren, it's not even the one you want.
Well, if it was a McLaren, I would be concerned that I would make it. But I mean, it's cool, and I still love cars, absolutely. But for me, at this point, it's a lot more about the pride of ownership, of what that means, of eventually selling it, making money, stuff like that. The novelty of driving a car that's not mine doesn't mean I don't love great cars. I want to buy all the great cars, but it's just you just take on so much risk that just usually isn't worth it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and I didn't have the experience that you had, nothing like that. But like, if a Viper needed to get moved, I don't want to fucking ding this. Like it needs to be pulled through the double doors into the showroom. I don't want to do this. I don't know how stiff that clutch is. This is my first time driving a Viper. This is not good.
Yeah.
This
How much is a Viper?
It was a used
Like
Viper.
$100,000.
So this one,
130, 40 new, and
Yeah,
used anywhere from 30 to 150 grand.
Okay, still a
$60,000,
pretty penny.
$70,000 car. But the real thing is, it's a rocket ship that I'm trying to move into a showroom full of people at 2 miles per hour.
So you're just idling the whole way
It
in.
might be hard.
It's really, really stiff clutch. And I've never been in this motherfucker before. It's terrifying. We had a Ford GT. There aren't many of those things. I don't remember what the thing. Maybe it was $150,000 or like we were definitely charging over sticker for the thing. Like there was probably like a $50,000 premium on the thing, and that thing needed moving into the showroom. And I'm like, I would love to just take it for a spin around the parking lot, but I'm not pulling it through those fucking double doors. There's no fucking way. And they let me. They let me go for circle around the parking lot. And I got the fuck out of that thing and said, all right, boss, you can put it through those double doors, though. There's no fucking way I'm driving a house through those double doors that's 38 inches off the ground or whatever the roof is on that thing.
Yeah, those were a little bit higher than 40 inches, but not quite. That's the thing is when you park a car in a showroom, there's no clearance, and it's impossible to do it by yourself. And so when you're having to park expensive cars, the person who is pointing and telling you what to do is responsible if you crash. And so that's the way we had to do it, because we were parking, $500,000-$600,000 cars inches from each other. And if you can steer a car a lot better not being in it, as long as you tell the person exactly how to do so. But the point that the person in the car stops listening to you, you just throw up your hands and say, you're on your own. But if you do listen and you hit something, then it's the pointer's fault.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know how to guide. Like I grew up doing that a ton. Like whether it was hooking trailers up to trucks or whatever, and like they don't know the proper hand. I like to get this when I'm backing up to something. I like this a lot, and people don't understand this. And I've seen people do this. I'm like, whoa, I'm not moving that fast. You just went from 2 feet to 8 inches.
You want to go from here to here.
My wife is guide-tarded, right? All the hand motions are like,
Right.
I'm not getting any of this. Yeah, right? Like I don't, or. Like I don't even know which one that was.
Oh, the ridiculous steering wheel mime.
Yes, yeah.
You wouldn't want to say go to the right when you can go like that.
Yeah, and which one? I'm not even sure if this is right. She's awful edit. I
liked your story about the PCP guy. Would you tell that story because that one to me was
I don't know this one.
Yeah, and also Taylor didn't watch this one. I enjoyed that story.
So when stated income loans were a thing, and it was like 2007, I was in college and I needed a big place to store the cars, and I was this close to buying Terrell Owens' house. He was selling it, and it had also been on MTV Cribs, and it was for sale just in East Atlanta. It was a good drive to Georgia Tech, and I was like, this makes all the sense in the world. Why are we all paying so much rent? And I was going to have like 15 roommates there, and I just narrowly avoided not doing that, thinking like this is going to be the greatest financial decision I ever made. And it sold like 3 or 4 years later for half of what I was going to have to pay for it back then. But instead of that, we ended up living in the west side of Atlanta, which used to be known as just a great place to go and get stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
It was in this huge duplex where each side had like 6 bedrooms and 2 kitchens. And we were on one side, me and a bunch of my roommates and intramural teammates and stuff like that. And we were out for spring break, but there had always been this Saturn parked, like in the best parking spot. There was a big open area that we could all park in, and it never moved. It was disgusting, just covered in tree sap and everything else. And we kept asking the landlord to move it. He kept saying he would, but he never did. And we were just like, come on, get it out of here. And one day we all got, motivated, and we just started just breaking stuff on the car. And nobody really cared. It sat like that for forever. And every time you'd walk by, you just break something else off, break the mirror off, break the window. It was the punching bag for when you were frustrated with college life. And so we did that for a very long time, and nobody really cared. But when I was gone on spring break, I got a call from one of my roommates that was still there, and he's like, "Man, you will not believe what happened last night." And so apparently a guy that lived on the other side that we never saw or interacted with had come in, and it had been his car. I don't know how it took him months to figure out that his car was not in the condition he left it in, and maybe the tags were 3 years expired, and they and another
that
one
was
of
an
our roommates-
investment vehicle. That's what you're
That's
not
it.
understanding.
Those dent-resistant panels didn't do so much dent resisting, but he was yelling, banging on the door, "I've got a gun and I'm going to kill you." And the only thing that they had there to defend themselves with was a intramural softball bat, but they were fully prepared to kill him back for he came through our little plastic door on this cheap duplex, and he couldn't get the door open, so he decided to throw our grill through the window, and it made it enough to break the window and then kind of fall back on him. And he cut himself on the glass, kind of trying to climb through, and gave up on that and proceeded to bleed all over the few cars that were still left. So we came back, and the whole parking lot and the whole my girlfriend at the time, my wife now's Mustang, was covered in blood. And the cops came, obviously, and arrested him. And they said it was PCP that he was on, and he was feeling none of the pain. But
he went around and was just intentionally
bled on everything,
bleeding on the cars. That was the only.
That's alpha as fuck,
right?
From Fight Club.
Yeah.
Bleeding
And,
on cars.
we had a guy that used to detail cars at Lamborghini Atlanta, and he might at one point have stolen a Aston Martin from inventory and then magically found it like a couple days later when he realized he couldn't do anything with it. But he was actually working. I ran into him at a gas station they built right around the corner. And he was running security. He had this huge gun on him and everything. And I said, "You know what?" I was going to dinner somewhere in that area. I said, "I used to live right down the street." And he looked at me like, "What do you mean? You lived here?" Because I guess it's even gotten worse now.
Yeah.
But it's a proper terrible place to live.
Yeah.
That
There's some
sucks.
sketchy parts of Atlanta for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, north side and south side and east. North, south, and east are all pretty good. I like East Point a lot, but
Yep.
west side of Atlanta can be a little rough.
That's right. But good memories, good stories occasionally.
That wasn't the only
Isn't that sad?
excreter
Like,
that you
when
have
you have
deal
to say
with,
that
though.
about your childhood city, when it's like, "Oh, St. Louis is great. Just don't go north. Oh, definitely don't go east. South can be iffy. Be careful."
That's right.
Actually, where we're standing right now, while we are technically surrounded, fairly safe.
It's a good spot.
Don't move. No, don't go over there. Don't go over there. No, that gas station. No good. We're safe right here.
There you go.
We had.
I want to know. Go ahead, Kyle.
I was going to say we had. You had a story about people like coming into the dealership at night and stealing rims, and another one about some stains that was appearing on the car. I thought both those were interesting. The only experience, and I'd love for you to tell that
one first.
Yeah, the stain one for sure first. My experience with anything like that was homeless men were coming in the winter and sleeping in the inventory.
Is that a soup kitchen, according to that Wahlberg movie?
We used to joke about that. They were not making soup kitchens, but they were sleeping in them, and you could tell like that they had been slept in. I want to say a guy got caught sleeping in the car or something like that. Come in 8 a.m. or whatever, and there's a hobo sleeping in the Tahoe. So it became, then it's on us as salesmen to go around at night and lock every fucking car and it's 14-acre lot. It's hundreds and hundreds of pieces.
It's a huge store.
It's a huge store, and we hated it. We hated these hobos so much. To this day, I have a hatred for homeless people that is solely about that. I joke about them all the time on the show, and people think I'm mean about it. This is why. This story right here. They were coming in, sleeping in the car, sneaking them up. And so then we had to go, like, it's closing time. It's time for me. I should be on my way home. But no, I have to go out and lock every single fucking truck. Well, they came, I guess, and it was cold. You know, they came and they tried to click. They're looking for a truck to hide in. Well, we had golf carts to get around the lot. It was a really big lot. And someone had left a golf cart out. This was a problem.
Did they sleep in a golf cart? How's that even helpful?
Oh, they did not sleep in the golf cart.
Okay.
The lot is on a bit of a hill.
Mm.
Nothing crazy steep, but it's definitely
Were
on
they
a slope.
fucking in it?
No, they got in the golf cart. They got it up to maximum speed heading down the hill, and then they jumped out and let it crash right into a brand new vehicle.
Hilarious. They're winning me over.
And we took that as a response to us locking the cars, because it happened shortly after we locked all the cars. We figured
Better than bleeding all over the car.
It's much better than bleeding all over the cars. But so then the rule is the golf carts all have to be parked inside at night. So these guys are just making all kinds of extra work for us. You had an excreter, though.
I hope Kyle mentioned homeless men coming in his story. I hope it's an Ed's too. Carry on.
I don't know the living arrangement this guy enjoyed, but we had a guy. This would probably have been like 2011 or 12, and we were just finding, we have to wash the cars all the time, because even though they're all worth a lot of money, we don't have enough showroom space to keep them all inside, and so we kept having them. They'd be clean, but there'd be this like sappy residue on the hoods, usually like right around the hood emblems. And we couldn't really figure it out, but it would happen. Like we were trying to move them away from trees, but it was very like spot on, like the center of the hood or front of the bumper. And the detailers would have to grab 2 or 3 of them each day and take them back and clean them off. And one of the dudes came to me one day and was like, "Ed, I think that's urine we're having to clean off these cars." And I'm like, "Well, man, it is kind of yellowish, whatever, but that seems absolutely preposterous that we would be having urine spontaneously occurring on the hoods of cars." And so we ended up going back through the security footage, which was, like it was still like, it's terrible, terrible resolution. But we see this guy in a trench coat in the middle of the night, walking from car to car and standing in front of it for a second, and then taking a camera phone picture and then moving to the next one. And it demonstrated phenomenal prostate control, because he was urinating a little bit on one and then moving along to the next. But it didn't seem like urine, because it was so like sappy and disgusting. And so we called the cops. We're like, "Have you heard of this happening?" And they're like, "No, but that's really weird, and we would very much like to catch the person and get to
We've
talk
got
to them
our
about
own
it."
orange sap problem. Funny you ask.
So I was not like trying to do a car deal or something, and our general manager comes walking across the showroom floor, and he's on his phone. He goes, Ed, he's back. And he'd gotten bold. He came during the day to do this, and I see a dude kind of wandering across. So I call the chief of police, because literally the police station's across the road from the dealership. So we'd let him borrow cars for parades and stuff like that. We had a good relationship. So they come guns a-blazing. They yell. He's like, "You found the urine bandit?" They had assigned him a name internally.
Hell yeah.
And so they, like, the ones that were in their cars came lights on across the street, and they chased him down behind the neighboring like laundromat, pool hall, pizza place. And some of them were on foot. Like, they shut down the road to come chasing this guy. And they caught him. And he was, I'm sure they yelled, "You're in trouble now."
Yeah.
I just remembered this story. I hadn't thought about this in so long. There's a lot of turnover in sales, in the sales department, of course. And so, it was almost like being in a unit in Vietnam. You didn't want to befriend the new guy too much, because he might not be around too long,
Because his name's handwritten on a business card.
Yeah.
And don't trust the Vietnamese prostitutes.
I gotta scratch a paper here,
Right.
and the people that you had been working with for a while, you felt like you were part of the original unit or whatever. Well, these new guys came and they were hardworking, and they
It
were
was like Band of Brothers. We're like, we didn't want to get too close to him, because we just tore me up to see him get killed.
That's right. That's exactly. it's a rough business, and but these guys moved down, and they had formerly worked in like insurance or something. They were young guys. They were like my age, maybe a couple years older, 23, something like that. And they were hard workers, and that was getting them through. One more so than the other. I wish I could remember their names well. I think it was Kyle and Travis actually, and Kyle's doing real well. Travis was not, and they even looked their level of success. Kyle looked smart, had his head shaved. His glasses were nice. He always wore a dress shirt and a tie. And Travis was slovenly, like he was a little overweight, and his beard was always unkempt, and he was struggling real bad. He was still on an air mattress because he couldn't afford to get his shit out of storage back in Pennsylvania. So like they auctioned it all off while he's in Atlanta. So he's living on a goddamn air mattress. But he fucked a girl on that air mattress one night, and I told him that was one of the most incredible accomplishments in fuckery I'd ever seen. Like I've gotten some girls, but I've never been able to fuck one on a fucking air mattress. Like you brought her back and she didn't just walk right out. Like, nope, she was down. That thing went flat about halfway through too. But anyway, he takes a car back to get it detailed. He miraculously sold a car, and a homeless man is back there. He's not supposed to be back there. It's very much a fenced-in area. It's like back behind our service department, far away from the showroom floor. And the homeless man tries to rob him. He has nothing. He has nothing on him. And he's like, I don't have anything, man. And the guy poked him with a little penknife. Like, I say poked because it certainly wasn't a stab wound. He got poked him. He poked him. It was like something from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they're at the carnival and that guy just like stabs. He stabbed him, but it was a bullshit stab. Like he's like, he stabbed me. Yeah. And I hear coming over the radios. The place is so big. There's radios everywhere. I don't carry a radio, but the managers all have them, and you can hear the radios nearby. Travis has been stabbed back behind and I'm just like, what the fuck? And like I've got a gun, so I'm just like, get the gun, fucking throw it into my suit jacket. We get on the golf cart. We drive fucking back there. Nobody's back there. This guy's made his escape. He's over the fences, and once you're over that fences, he's in friendly territory. Let's just put it that way. We're not venturing. That's the DMZ over there. If we're in Nam, like he's made it into Laos. Okay, like we can't go over there. We won't come back unscathed. And but he's fucking poked like in his palm. Like he tried to defend himself, and the guy stuck him in the fucking palm. He's like
in the palm.
Yeah, in the palm. Yeah, he's like holding his hands up, and the guy like pokes him with like and I can only imagine it was like one of those Swiss Army bullshit little pen knives. But
right.
It's like this is the worst job, man. I've had the hardest time. I'm like, well, you sold a car. He's like, I made $50, man. I made $50.
Man, I'm out here getting poked.
I made $50 in that car.
That wasn't the issue we had with early employees. When you generally, when people get a job selling exotic cars, they make some crazy personal financial decision, and the most common one is to buy a motorcycle. And Georgia is a little bit peculiar in that to get motorcycle insurance, you have to have a motorcycle license, and to get a motorcycle license, you have to take the test. And to take the test, you have to have a motorcycle. So you have to have it before you can insure it.
Yeah, that seems ass backwards.
And they will finance them without you having insurance or a license. So you can get a loan for a non-insured asset and then go through the process and hopefully be able to insure it. And so we had a lot of guys that would come in and literally the first week they buy a motorcycle. And one of the guys' name was Nick, and he was young, just I'm so cool. I'm selling exotic cars. I'm everything I want to be. And so he buys this Victory motorcycle, and I don't know what it's like, $15,000, and finances every dollar of it. Most car salesmen have a tremendous amount of negative equity in their cars. It's a strange thing, or motorcycles too. And he's never ridden one. Doesn't have any of the steps completed. Doesn't have a license. Doesn't have insurance. Nothing. And so I'm on the phone actually trying to buy a Bugatti for a customer, and it's like a nice kind of fall day. We got the doors all open, and it was getting time to close. And so I hear them outside, and one of the guys that worked at the store that knew how to ride a motorcycle was like, well, I'm going to pull it inside. They had dropped it off to us. Like, he didn't drive it away from the dealership. They came and gave it to him. And so it was in a lot, and he started, it was pulling it in, and he's like, hey, I just want to sit on my new motorcycle. And one of the rules of motorcycles is you don't sit on one without a helmet. And if you don't know how to drive one, you don't sit on one while it's running. And, you know, because with a car, like if you don't know what you're doing and you just do nothing, you'll usually slowly roll into whatever's in front of you. With a motorcycle, if you suddenly let go and do nothing, you launch into whatever is in front of you. And so he was probably about 18, 20 feet from the back of a Porsche Panamera. And he obviously just like kind of doesn't know what he's doing, tries to make it move, and just drops the clutch and blasts himself into this Panamera and shatters the back glass of it with his face. No helmet or anything, obviously. The motorcycle drags along the side of the Panamera and does a bit of damage to it. And so I hear just screech, bang, crash, boom, and I go out there, and the guy who had kind of let him sit on his motorcycle, that knowing he didn't know how to do it, was like freaking out, trying to pick up the bike. Our sales manager was out there like noticing all the blood coming out of Nick's face, and he's freaking out. And so I go over there, I kind of grab his face. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have a fun night tonight. And so he comes out, and so I fortunately, I don't know, I had like a moving blanket in my car. So I got him in there, and he keeps looking down, and all the blood's just dripping out of his face, all cut up. And so we go up to the emergency room, and there's like little girls with broken arms and stuff like that. And we look like we just came from an axe murderer. And I'm probably the axe murderer because he's the one with all the blood on him. But it was covered in blood. So they get him in immediately. And the first doctor walks in and sees how much blood and how cut up he is, and is like, nope, not doing that. And he goes out and calls another guy. Second dude comes in.
Can you do that as a doctor?
Yeah. I guess they
probably want that, right?
The second doctor,
because I don't want a doctor that says, "Hey, I'll give it a go."
I feel like I got it. I got to learn sometime. So,
I've been doing this for 3 months, so I got it.
That's right. That's right. New personal best for stitches. But the third guy was like the stitch guy, because during the time he was putting about 80 stitches in Nick's face, 2 times people came in like needing the stitch guy, and he's like, no, I can't. And I mean, he's young, kind of vain, just, freaking out. No, he's never going to look like anything but Leatherface again.
Yeah, there's some scarred up 8-year-old girl somewhere because of this guy's motorcycle.
Right. Her arms all,
yeah, the good doctor wasn't available.
I shouldn't have tried to pet the pit bull. I'm to blame. I'll remember every time I try and use peripheral vision or depth perception with my remaining eye.
I just don't know how you put an ear on backwards.
I didn't have 2 left ears before the pit bull. They grabbed out of the mismatch pile. Anyway, sorry.
They worked on him for 3 hours. It was awful. And I mean, he pulled back a flap of face, and an ant walks out that I guess had been on the Porsche. And I was like, Nick, I mean, you got a story from today, but that ant has got really something to tell his friends when he gets back home. But they got him all stitched up, and I gave him one of my shirts so we could go get something to eat. So it's like, 2, 3 in the morning at that point.
You guys went to White Castle afterwards or something?
Waffle House.
Steak and Shake, absolutely.
Ooh,
and I mean,
nice.
He's like wrapped up mummy style on his face. And everybody's like, what in the world? It was like one of those scenes in a movie where they just finished Fight Club, and like, you can tell they're having just a whole different experience than the rest of the guests of the restaurant that night. But no, he was eternally grateful for that. And but the problem was, of course, new employee, no insurance, and no motorcycle insurance to pay medical bills. And so before we leave, they're like, how do you want to pay for this? He's like, well, I don't know. I don't have insurance. And like, we can go speak to our financial counselor. And so we go sit in front of this huge woman that's going to tell us, whatever Nick's going to owe. And she's like, she hands us a bill. It's like $8,500. And he's like, darn it, because he's already got to pay for his total motorcycle over the next like 60 months. And now he's got this huge medical bill that he can't get insurance for. I was like, well, if we walk out of here, I know your collection rates drop pretty fast. So what if we were to pay it right now? And she's like, oh, well, in that case, we could do a pretty big discount. We could probably take like 25% off. I don't know. I mean, it's not convenient to pay it right now. She's like, well, I don't know. What if it was half off? I was like, well, still, that's still $4,000. Man, that's a big Amex bill this month. And she's like, I don't know if I can do any better than that. I said, well, I don't know that I can pay any more than what, I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $800. And she's like, let me see what I can do. She starts fake typing.
Yeah.
And she's like, we'll take it. And
so you got like 92% off.
Yeah. And actually, then I pull out my wallet. I was like, you know what? I've got $500 in cash. And she's like, and then Nick's like, stop.
The Stitch Man needs his payments.
That's right. Yeah.
That is.
I didn't know. I heard you tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
Like just 4 hours ago, I was listening to you tell that story, and I felt so stupid because all my life I've negotiated everything. Like if I'm kind of aware of the things that are negotiable. I go buy a new living room suit. I'm haggling with this guy. I know he's on commission. I'm like, is there any wiggle room there? He's like, no, and I think you're getting a good deal here. I'm like, well, I don't really think I am. Maybe I'll go to rooms to go. And he's like, well, let's see what we can do, and just keep going until they're willing to let you walk out the door. That's kind of my modus operandi on most things. Furniture, cars. My Sirius satellite radio, my car insurance, everything. Like Sirius satellite radio will go from like $50 a month to like $8 a month after about a 30-minute phone call. I had no idea you could negotiate medical bills because I've had to pay some.
I knew you could do it. I didn't know you could do it that well. That is what's shocking me, right? When he said $3,000, I'm like, this is hilarious. He's going to meet him in the middle at 31. No, he didn't. He met him at 800 and nearly got 5. That is,
yeah.
I feel like there are times in my life I should just give Ed a call. Hey, I'm about to spend $8,000. I'll split the difference between what I actually spend with you.
Yeah.
You might spend 15 minutes on the phone earning $1,500. That seems worth it.
A good
consulting gig.
This is a good question from my point in life. My Chrysler 300 is about to die. It's on its last leg, and I'm one of those people where I just drive cars till the end. Like, I'm not a big car person. I don't know that much. And so I'm going to get like a RAV4, a Pathfinder, just some like a Honda CRV, something like that. What are your go-to insider kind of tactics for negotiating as far as cars?
Well, if you start with like TrueCar and some of these like online estimates of like what you can buy a car for now, usually, it varies. Used cars or new cars have a markup of anywhere from 5 to 15%, just depending on what incentives exist and stuff like that.
Mine would be used, definitely, and I'm not buying a new car.
Yeah. So that's a little bit harder. Generally, now everything's documented. So if you know anybody that has a dealer's license, they can check Manheim and usually see at least what they would have given on trade, or maybe what they paid for that exact car at an auction. And if you line that up with Carfax or potentially VinWiki, we have a lot of them, then you can see what they actually paid. And then you've got to assume they had some reconditioning costs, maybe put some tires on, paint a bumper, stuff like that. And they don't usually care that much to make much money on the front end. They're going to make a lot of money in finance. And so and they'll have made some money in service. A lot of times that'll have some profit on it. So there's not always that much. But the thing about a car purchase is, especially if you're going to own it for however long, like, people feel this badge of honor for negotiating on a car. But if you're going to own it for 6 months, like I probably would, like, what you pay really matters. If you're going to own it for 6 years, like, paying an extra $500 or $1,000, like, it just washes out. It doesn't really matter. So buy what you want, and don't let the fact that you didn't get exactly the price you had to have to feel good about it interfere with that.
Well, the crux of that is, though, I want a cool story where I can say they asked for $35,000, and I said let's meet in the middle at $5,000. So we haggled, and they were shrewd, so we met in the middle for $7,000.
There you
like
go.
that.
There you
I
go.
want a story like that. I don't think I'm going to get one on a used CRV.
See, a lot of it's in how you can deliver it. So even though I told you what to say, if you can't sell it, like, sometimes it doesn't work. Like, I had a friend that was he really wanted a number on a used Sequoia or something over the weekend. So he's like, hey, tell me, master, what do you say? And so I told him what to say, but he's like, when the first text back is, really? That's what I should say. They're not going to sell it. And so he ended up having to pay a little bit more. But that was actually an issue for me on the Cannonball when we did that, because I was trying to find a reason to be speeding across the country, and I had gone to a butcher shop, and I bought 3 pig hearts, and I had some stickers made up that said transcon, transplant, transport, and I had them in a cooler. But the co-driver that I had, I didn't feel I could keep up the ruse. And if you let that down like at all,
I would have loved to have been part of that guy.
and so
I would have loved to have been part of that gang so much. I'd have been dressed in scrubs, like, please, officer.
You've got your little face mask on. There's not much time.
That's right. See all these clocks and everything? Yeah. No, so we didn't do that. But we didn't get pulled over either, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered.
We have to be in LA by sundown. It's like, well, sir, I'm with the Indiana State Police.
Anymore.
What's the best, or what's the, I guess, the negotiation you're most proud of? Like, if you looked back, one that you're like, hell yeah, I've won a lot, that one. That's my whale.
There's actually two. One is that Ruf that I was driving. I had been trying to buy that car. There's only 3 of them in the U.S. They're RT12Ss. That one was an 06. I think there's an 08 and an 09. And I had seen it at a dealership in South Florida.
What color was it?
And it was matte black with a brown interior, which was really kind of unique. Like, it's a strange color combination to have.
What year was it?
06.
I think I'm literally looking at it. Did it have red side view mirrors by chance?
It did at one point. They had been painted black when I got the car.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome car. It's probably $350,000 new, and it had actually gone back to the factory for some updates at one point. And I saw it, and the guy was trying to trade it on an Aventador back in 2012, and he had kind of run into a snag because he was doing it at Lamborghini Palm Beach. And Lamborghini Palm Beach has had several different kind of regimes of management. And the general manager that came in didn't know what it was. And it looks like a Porsche 911 Turbo, but it has a different VIN. And it was actually, since it was an 06, they didn't make turbos that year. They made them in 05, they made them in 07. And so there wasn't even a nice Porsche comp. Mm-hmm. So he thought it was just like a $30,000 Carrera. And so the guy had an agreement with the previous general manager to get $130,000 on trade if they didn't sell it beforehand as a consignment. And I kept asking him, like, hey, can I have it? But well, when he came in, he said, I'm not giving you $130,000. I don't care what you've got in writing. You can sue me over it. And of course, the guy did. So he got caught up in a lawsuit for like 3 years. They sold his Aventador to somebody else. And eventually, I guess they ended up settling with the next general manager. But the car just kind of disappeared into South Florida. I'm like, darn it, I lost it. And I always thought it was going to be really, really cool to own a Ruf car, because back when Porsche wouldn't license to Gran Turismo, that was the car that looked like Porsches that they used. And so that's where most people recognize Ruf. They usually call it Ruf or something like that because it's RUF. Mm-hmm. And so I was just browsing. I quit working at the dealership because I just got tired of the hours in November of 15. And December, I'm obviously have a lot of time on my hands. I'm browsing Craigslist internationally, and I find a listing for a Ruf that's matte black over brown in upstate New York. And it literally didn't have anything other than a picture of the dials, the gauges. And I call the guy, and I'm like, you don't have this car, do you? He said, no, I know the owner, and he wants me to sell it. He was a broker, which is scum of the exotic car earth. And I'm like, all right, well, I know this, and this. I talked to him all about the car. He said, well, I didn't know any of that junk. So I'm like, well, but I am a check writer. I will buy this car, but it already has enough of a stigma from sitting outside with matte paint, which deteriorates badly in South Florida. Like, I need you to pull this ad down because I don't need you to add to it the stigma of being on Craigslist for too long. And he didn't have a price on it. And I'm like, I know that the previous dealer hit him at $75,000 for the car, which, obviously didn't work out. I said, but now it's set for 3 years. I know it's going to need more work, so I need to pay less than that. And he's like, that makes sense. I said, it sure does. It sure does. And so I walk him through all the crazy worst case scenario things the thing could need, and end up getting him to agree to $69,000 and agree to not ask for any other bids. And so he takes it to the owner and he agrees to take it. And I'm like, well, darn it, that was crazy. I mean, like the car was easily worth, twice that. And so I go down to Miami, I pick it up and drive it back, and the car wasn't right. Like when I drove it back from Miami, the car's supposed to go 228 miles an hour, which is not insignificant. And I got up to like 185 on the turnpike, and it was not really accelerating anymore. I'm like, this thing doesn't have another 40 miles in it. And
I love picturing you going 185 miles an hour on just a road that people drive on. And you're not terrified. You're just like, well, this isn't up to snuff. I was expecting to be going thrice the speed of people around me, not just 2.5 times.
right.
I can still tell these cars I'm passing are moving.
Exactly. And it had, there was something wrong with the suspension. Ruf had used a Moton hydraulic suspension, and it was not stable at all. It had a great differential in it. So if you were turning, it was great. But if you were going straight, the thing would just jump between lanes. And so it was terrifying to drive. And so I ended up trying to sell it and got a couple of offers, but nobody could ever like get financed or buy it. And so I ended up selling it to the former Ruf dealer in the US for $154,000 about like a year later. And so made a nice little hit, best percentage based flip that I've ever had.
That's
huge. Yeah, especially when you're unemployed and trying to launch a vehicle history reporting app. So it was great. Huge kind of godsend thing there.
I'm still bamboozled by the shit you're peddling. Like, you know what? I'm going to need you to take down this for sale ad because of the stigma that it might have.
Right.
That's not what you wanted. No other bidders, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there was no way anybody would ever find it. I mean, it didn't have.
Is
the
your
VIN
last
on it or
name like
anything.
Capone? Like, how are you doing this?
That's right. If you don't want a horse's
what
head
I'm
in
going to
your
ask you to do is not offer it to anyone else, and also give me a 75% discount. And who knows? Maybe those kneecaps stay right where they are.
Exactly.
I'm not asking for enough in life. Clearly,
But probably not. Yeah.
I need to be
I think you're afraid of. You
all
can't
the
be afraid. For me, it's always like there was a time when I was really afraid of like making some sort of social faux pas when negotiating, and then I started thinking like, I'm not going to see this motherfucker again. I don't
for
care
me,
if he
it's
thinks
kind of karma based, right? Like
I don't believe in karma.
the world's treated me well. I'm happy with the way things are. I'm just not supposed to like nickel and like really twist the knife on the other people around me.
No. So I tip the guy I buy the car from, but I want the best deal I can get. Like I always appreciated that. Like if somebody whittled me down and maybe even what I felt was like, I ended up with a mini deal, which for us was fucking $50. You know, and it's just excruciating for 4 hours worth of work when I see my buddies over here making hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars maybe on a Saturday, and I've made $50 and the day's halfway gone, and the guy tips me $150 at the end. I'm pretty happy. I'm like, oh well, that guy gets it. That guy knows what just happened here.
Are you allowed to do that in the midst of a deal? So let's say I'm buying a car from you, Kyle, and I'm like, and you just come straight out and you're like, hey, this is the price I can sell it at. I got to make this amount. Let's just say you got to get out of the office early that day, so you just give me the total bottom line. Yeah, I'm just saying. And then you're like, oh, if you can go a little lower than that, I'll give you a $500 tip or whatever. Is that allowed?
I feel like I would be defrauding my dealership if I did.
See, that's
that.
why I was asking. Is that fraud?
Yeah. It is, absolutely is fraud.
Okay.
Yeah,
There was a guy at Jim Ellis Porsche that got in trouble. I think he'd taken like $2 million doing that. But the problem was that in order for the dealership to press charges, they would have to open up all the deals and essentially show all the people that had been hurt that they had been hurt. And a lot of them knew it because they paid him money or had him or done favors for him, but they'd also made a lot of money on a lot of these cars, and it was a really nasty thing. So he ended up really not getting much more than a slap on the wrist for it. But yeah, it's not good. I never got a tip. Actually, no, I should say I had a guy give me a watch once, and I told my boss, I was like, hey, this guy gave me a watch. Like I tried to give it back. He truly would not take it. Do you want it or like whatever? He's like, no, I don't care. But that guy called my boss the next week or so to tell him that he had, trying to get me in trouble. He loved getting people in trouble. And,
interesting.
Yeah, he came in, and I had to give him a ride or I gave his son a ride in an Aventador at one point when they were fairly new. And there was a part of our test drive route on 400 South where you get off on a MARTA, which is our public transit station. And I could, if I started accelerating a little before it, like without any risk of, police vulnerability, because there's nowhere for him to hide, I could go about 175 miles an hour and then stand on the ceramic brakes and really impress somebody that was, potentially interested in buying the car. And I knew his dad would buy the car if he was really interested. I ended up selling his dad 3 of them. So it was great. However, the next day, my boss calls me into his office. And he's like, Ed, did you give so-and-so's kid a ride at 175 miles an hour in an Aventador yesterday? I said, that could have happened. And he said, well, he's really, really upset. He called the owner of the store and asked him to fire you. I was like, he asked me to give him a fun ride in a car. What did he think that meant? Like pressing all the radio buttons at the same time? And he's like, yeah, I mean, we don't really care, but maybe don't do that anymore. I said, sure, gotcha. And so real charmer, that guy, but it was a decent watch.
Yeah.
Were a lot of the people who would come in, like I know that probably all of them negotiate to some extent, but did you ever deal with someone who was so, and this is just someone who doesn't work in that industry of exotic cars. Like I imagine some people come in and they're so inordinately wealthy that this doesn't even register to them as a big purchase. Like would you have those people come in where you'd say, this is the sticker? And they'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever, do it.
Sometimes, I mean, most people, again, have that kind of badge of honor. And even if you can negotiate on the price, it's in your best interest not to, because people who pay you the most profit are always the happiest customers because they're buying based on the value they place on the car, not based on the deal you give them. I mean, essentially, no deal can be good enough to make you love a car you didn't want to love. Mm-hmm. And so it's better to knock their heads off and make a lot of money and make sure they actually like the car than it is to make a little bit and have them hate you for it next time.
I haven't heard someone use that term in so long. I love that.
Knock their heads off.
Knock their heads off.
Knock their heads off. So I just sold a paramotor, right? Making about paramotors. Sold it for $4,500, which is a good price. I think that's $500 or maybe $750 less than I could have gotten for it.
Sure.
The buyer's active duty military. I think he's literally in Iraq right now, and he sent his wife over to come pick it up. And I set the price that low so that I wouldn't have to
Paramotor, special forces.
Yeah, right. And so that I wouldn't have to negotiate, and so that no one would ever feel like I had taken them. Because it's a small community, and I don't want to be that guy. And now I'm like twisted up and stuff. Like Ed would have gotten $7,000 for it. Maybe I'm being dumb, throwing away money. Whereas I walked away thinking I gave a good deal to a guy who could appreciate it. And
you got your small community thing though. And it's a
this
veteran,
is a paramotor
right?
flown by
active duty.
And I know
YouTuber.
that I know you don't think much of
that's not true.
What do you call them? Scum? I'm kidding. But I think you did a good thing there. Like it's a little different. Like I've I fucked some people over the a lady came in and we sat down before she even got to go on the lot, and what are you looking for? Do you want? And she knew what kind of car, and I don't remember what it was, but let's just say she wanted a 2004 Corolla. So we've got 3 of them, and this one's a 2002, this one's a 2003, and this is a 2004, and I pull all 3 of them up to the door, but before I do it, I change the prices on all of them. I make them all $3,000 more expensive. So we go out there and I'm like, you know what? This is this one. This is that one. This is this one. These are the differences. This is why they're about $1,000 more for each one. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm in a hurry today. If you want to buy a car today, cha-cha, $3,000 discount across the board. What do you say? And she's just like, holy shit, you're just going to rip $3,000 off? I was like, if we can do it right now, I got to get out of here. I got a plane to catch. And I'm not going any fucking where.
I got to go to the LA Swindlers Convention.
but to his point, she was so happy with the deal she was getting and the quality of. She thought she just gotten a great deal, so she was very happy about everything. She loved me this the whole way through. She's just like, this young man right here has it. He is a treasure. She's just tickled pink, and she's paid the sticker price. And we had a code built into our sticker prices where the last number in the price, let's say it's 19,991, it's going to be 991, 992, 993, or 994. And that last number is letting me know how much this car has been discounted. It probably came in and we put like $5,000 profit on it, or $4,000. And every time they discount the second number in the price, which is $1,000 off the price, they change the last number too, to give the salesman an idea of how many times it's been discounted. I know we've got at least $3,000 on the front end of each one of these cars, 3 or 4. So I'm doing pretty fucking well already. So she's paying $3,000 to $4,000 profit on the front end, but she thinks she just got $3,000 taken off. It kind of put that lady together a little bit. And then there was another lady.
You knocked her head off.
I knocked her head off.
Does knock your head off mean take advantage of someone?
No, I'm not taking advantage.
Make a ton of profit.
It means I did my job well that day.
Seems to mean both.
Potato, potato.
Sales, I'm not going to judge.
I sold a lady a new Focus one time, and I got the sales sheet, and I sat down, and I started. Sometimes I'd get ahead of myself, and I would just see what I could do, because I feel like you can always ask forgiveness later. You can always say there was a mistake, or, oh, well, that's not supposed to say that, or, they expect the price to be a little iffy. So I just blacked out what my manager wrote, and I told her that it was an extra $2,000 as we sat down, and she agreed to it, and it was a new Focus, and I go back up there with a signature. My manager's like, did you just sell a Ford Focus at a premium? Did you just sell a Ford Focus for $2,000 over sticker price? I was like, I sold permaplate too, which is this bullshit fabric. And
what is permaplate?
Permaplate was a lie. I was told we didn't even put it on the cars, but we would sell it for, I think, $695. And essentially it's a warranty against stains and like acid rain spots and bullshit like that. And I never saw anyone ever come in and be like, hey, I bought the permaplate, stain right here on my seat. Fix it. Never happened once. But for $695, we would sell that stuff to you. And I had this whole kit on my desk where I'd stain a little swatch of fabric, and I'd spray some shit on it, just wipe it right off, coffee or whatever. Usually coffee, because we got the coffee maker right there. I'd just pour the coffee on it, be like, this has permaplate on it. This doesn't. And that would sell people for $700 of just extra gross. So like I sold her so high over sticker that they wouldn't even finance it at that. Like, she got into finance, and they were like, the financial institution says, this is too much for this car. Like she's going to owe so much more than this car is worth on day one. Like, they won't even do it. And I'm like, we'll find out exactly what they will do. Yeah. And then I'm going to come in and be like, you know what? You're the 100th customer. Holy shit. This happens once a month, but $1,100 discount. And she's just like, oh, Mr. Kyle, I am so my lucky day, new car, 100th customer. Oh, she was so happy. She was so happy. That was the same lady who told me she was like, it was nearing Christmas, and she had a kid with her.
In this story, she's gone from Little House on the Prairie to Kimmy's Vietnamese mom.
Oh no, this is a little Spanish lady.
Okay.
Yeah, and she had her little kid with her, and she said something along the lines of, "But if I pay this much for the car, there can be no Christmas for the children." And I said, "What's a better Christmas gift than a brand new car?" Looking at the kid. I was like, don't you want a new car?
I know when I was a kid, if my mom had a Focus, it would make Christmas.
Yeah. I was like, we talked about that Ford safety sensing system, didn't we? It's going to weigh little Javier and make sure those airbags come out just the right speed. Don't forget. You want to keep his little noggins. And
yes, but Mama, I wanted the Super Soaker this year.
Shut up, Javier. I gave you candy. Javier was sold, though. It went well. That was one of my favorite moments. Just couldn't. My manager's face when I sold that. And I did that also on like the most undesirable car of all time. It was the Ford
CrossFit?
500.
It was like a freestyle, I think. It was the 500 wagon, essentially. It was on like this Volvo chassis that was like lumbering, and it was hideous. It was in this green color too, like this pea green puke.
Rare color.
It was awful. It was awful. And this British guy came in, and I must
racing color of the UK.
Hello, sir. This seems to compliment my teeth.
And like I would always get real hyped up when I sold cars. I would drink a lot. I was drinking a lot of Red Bull. I would go to the gas station. I'd buy 4 Red Bulls, and I would take like those giant like 40-ounce cups they have, and I'd dump them all in there, and I'd chug it down, and I'd start my day. I wanted to be wired because the guy who trained me was like that. He was this very high energy black guy, and he was loud and boisterous, and he's like, we're going to do a car deal today. It was a show and a dance. And I tried to emulate that as like a 19-year-old white boy. And so I did. And so I'm just, when this guy expressed interest in this disgusting car that we all hated and knew was going to be discontinued any moment. I was like, well, you better snatch this thing up, sir. You better snatch it up quick, because this thing car right here, especially in this color, the lime vomit green color. Oh, it is desirable. I've had 3 calls today. People, I got appointments all weekend. We really need to get this thing wrapped up this week. And he's like, well, I guess I should head on over to the credit union and get a check forthwith. And he does. And I was like, well, we need to work out a price before you can go get your credit union check, And I did the same thing. I bumped the price $2,000, just scribbled it out and wrote it and sold a Ford's most disgusting car of all time, perhaps, at a premium. And I just remember my manager being like, you fucked up for this one. I would never do no shit like this to somebody. You fucked up for this one. I sign off on it. But finance ain't gonna do it. I'm like, he's got a credit union. He's like, oh fuck. All right. I'm signing off on it. My hands are washed.
So Ed, do you get fools like that? You're selling exotic cars. I imagine you have clients with expertise coming in. No.
Some do, yeah, sure. But for instance, you talk about how much a bank will finance on a car. A lot of times, banks in general will finance about 110% of MSRP. And so they're planning on some taxes, maybe a little bit of negative equity, maybe some, perma-stain junk, put on there. And then they kind of know they're playing ball with the dealers. And as long as nobody tries to sell a car rather immediately, owing 110% of MSRP is a bad idea, but not something that, could not be overcome if they own the car 2-3 years and they come try to trade. Mm-hmm. However, if there is a gigantic rebate on the car, especially early on before they figure out that's a big liability they've got, it can be a massive problem. So we set the Cannonball record in October of 13. We got the McLaren franchise in about September. So we had just gotten them. And whenever you take on a new franchise, particularly as an exotic store, you agree to take on a ton of inventory that is unsellable. Like it has the wrong options. It's just the worst stuff. They usually have 1 or 2 cars. So it's not like it's a 500 wagon that nobody wants. I mean, they want the cars, but they didn't want that one because it has like a stupid cost for some option that nobody cares about. So we had 21 2014 McLaren 12C Spiders in stock. And they'd already announced the replacement. And there was a $60,000 rebate on them, as I recall.
How much are they?
They're $300,000. No, so I had about, it was a $40,000 rebate and maybe a little bit more if we needed it. Like it's kind of a flexible rebate, but it was at least 40. So I had $30,000 in markup. So I had about $70,000 to $80,000 to discount these cars, and I could finance about $330,000. So it was one of those things where, as everybody was calling me, congratulating me, asking me about the record, like talking about that, I was like, "Well, hey, what do you think you owe on whatever?" Like, and it didn't matter. Like, literally, I could bury at least $100,000 of negative equity on a car, and so if they wanted a different car, you could always do the deal. But of course, the cars weren't worth what I was selling them at. Like, I mean, you had to try to sell them. And they were paying us a $6,000 flat to sell each of them. And I sold 20 out of the 21. And every one of the guys, like, you couldn't answer their phone calls anymore because they're so upside down. I mean, like, you could never trade them because it was impossible. But yeah, made a lot of money that month.
Do you ever, did you ever sell used inventory?
Tons, yeah, absolutely. About like 70 or 80% used.
You ever have customers come back and serious issues with the car, and that it's not, you're not the dealer, but you sold them a car with some serious issues and feel bad about it?
Yeah, but generally I could essentially, at that point, I'm more on the customer side because I have to maintain the relationship. So yeah. I'm trying to convince the dealer to take care of it. And in most cases they would. Like, bad reviews are expensive. I mean, if you're at a Ford store,
not so much.
They don't care.
Yeah.
When I bought my 300 like 8-9 years ago, whatever it was, like I went, and before I got the black one, I had a navy blue one very briefly. And I went in and I got it and I drove it off the lot to a friend's house because I was I had plans to hang out that day, whatever summer it was. And I get there, and I get out, hang out with my friends for a couple
used
hours.
car, Taylor?
It's a used car, yeah. And I come back, hop in it, back out of their driveway, and start to drive away. And it like starts gassing and steaming and smoking immediately. And the car just will not run. Like it's just making a bunch of weird noises, and I'm not car savvy enough to know. So I just get out of it after it's like totally died and just have to call them and be like, hey, you know that car I bought at noon today? Yeah, there's gas and smoke and stuff pouring out of it. This is fucking ridiculous. I want a new car, a different one of these at a discount. And so I went back and got like the V8 Hemi version for a slightly cheaper price, which has actually cost me a lot more money in the long run with gas.
Yeah, for sure. I sold a lady a convertible Mustang one time, a used one, and she was very happy. But then she's always calling me like the sunroof, the roof leaks, and I'm just like, well, bring it in and talk to the manager. I was like, I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry that it leaks. And she's like, and it makes this awful noise on the highway. And I'm like, again, you have to come in and talk to Dimitri about that, because that's not my area of expertise. He's the used car guy. It
sounds like someone's kicking and screaming in the trunk.
She comes in, and I'm like, Dimitri, the lady with the Mustang's here, the one the leaky sunroof and the one that makes the noise. And he comes over, and she's like, yeah, whenever I get above 80 on the highway, it just makes this awful noise. And he goes, ma'am, speed limit is 70 miles per hour. Stay below 70, you'll have no trouble. I'm just sitting there like, he's got a good point.
I like to think that doesn't fly at the McLaren dealership.
Well, so we had as carbon ceramic brakes have become standard equipment on so many cars. Carbon ceramic brakes squeak really badly if you don't use them up to temperature. So if you just drive it like a normal car and not like a race car, it can be extremely loud when you try to brake. And the only way to fix it is to go really fast and brake really hard. And so we would sell these guys these cars, and a week later they come in and they're like, especially on Ferrari Californias for some reason, because people buy them to drive them more like Mercedes or BMWs. And so they would bring them back in and say, oh, the brakes squeak so bad, I feel like I need them. And literally every time they just throw me the keys, and I would be like, distract this dude for a little bit. And I would go out and do our test drive lap and just run it up to 150 miles an hour. And you can't stomp on the brakes. You have to very aggressively and firmly apply them. And you don't need to stop all the way. But if you just brake down to like 50 and then accelerate back up and then brake hard down to 50, it'll scuff off the top of the pad and it'll work just fine.
That sounds like a good time. Is it a good time, or does that wear out?
No, because you kind of like at that point, like if you get pulled over going 150 miles an hour, doing your standard procedure of doing, like, they didn't care. It was not a big deal.
Like, if you asked me to do that, that might be the coolest thing I do this month, right? but if you do it a lot, like it's work, right? It's the job.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, we still had to sell cars that were like in weird situations. Like we had one guy, McLaren's. There's about a 100% chance that they will break in the first week that someone owns one. And we had a guy who complained enough that we ended up essentially creating a deal where he got a different new one. We didn't really lemon law the car, but it had enough issues that we just let him have another one. But he put like 300 miles on it, but the warranty was started. They call that being punched. And so it was kind of punched as a demo in inventory for a little while. But I sold it to this guy who, for tax purposes, like had to buy an untitled car. And I had been told by the general manager that did the deal to get the car back that it had not been titled. It was still absolutely a brand new car. But what had happened was they had titled it initially in another state. And he had made our title clerk contact that state on a daily basis, pull the title out, and essentially rip up the new title that was made so that it could stay new and he wouldn't have to sell it as a used car, which is like super illegal. And I sell the car in good faith saying, look, I've been told by the person who did the deal that it is absolutely a new car. And in his head it was, but since that title was created and printed not in 1948, but in 2014 or 15, it absolutely showed up. So this guy starts to find some issues with his car, and he decides to pull a Carfax on it. And it shows like a title issued in another state at a lower mileage, and he freaks out. And I tell him, like, look, there's only two possible explanations for this. I said, the first is that we are the most dishonest people that have ever walked the earth.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I said, but the second option is we are absolute morons and don't know what we're doing. And I want to make sure that you understand before we talk any further that it is the second option. And we don't have a clue. And so we ended up kind of essentially doing the same thing again, giving him another new car in exchange for that one. But the title clerk was like, she came up to me during the deal and said, do whatever he wants because I am not testifying on this one. Okay.
I am not taking the word of any car salesman after this discussion. I'm going to always assume the duplicitous angle, I think.
Well, you know,
I think Woody's on the same page.
Well, you know, you get asked to do stuff that, you know, because you're kind of like the hired gun as the sales guy. You're beholden to your bosses to do what they tell you to. Like I mentioned before that my general manager crashed a car running through a stoplight that he didn't know was red. Well, that wasn't a car we owned at the time. I was trying to sell a Nissan GTR to a repeat customer I'd done a ton of business with. Was a really nice guy. And he was trading a C63 Mercedes. And so generally the sales manager or the general manager would take it for a ride around the block, especially if it's out of warranty, see if there's any lights on, any misalignment or anything, just kind of look at the car to appraise it. So I'm in the process of talking to this guy, and I see across the showroom, another one of my sales guys answers the phone and I just hear his side of the conversation. Obviously he goes, oh no. He says, are you okay? And I go, oh, darn it. And so I was like, I tell this guy, give me a second. I'm going to walk in here. And I saw him also beelining into the sales manager's office that was going to kind of tell us what to do. And he says, all right, so-and-so just crashed the car. It is 100% totaled. He's going to be in an ambulance on the way to the hospital. So my sales manager could have said, all right, let's go tell this guy what's happened to his car, and we'll work out something that's very reasonable. We'll take full responsibility. That's not what he said. He goes, Ed, sell that car in the next 5 minutes before he wonders where his trade is. And I'm like, well, I mean, this guy normally takes like 3-4 hours to negotiate a car deal. So I go, well, that sounds like a fun game to play. I'll go do it. And I did it. I talked him into it. And so finally he's like, all right, I'm going to go start getting some stuff out of my car. I was like, you know what? Nope, we're going to have a porter do that. Don't you worry about your old car. I'll get your plate, everything off of it. He's like, yeah, all right. Well, my golf clubs are in the truck. I'm like, okay, all right. So we get out there. Trunk is like demolished. It's just like, I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to bring those to you tomorrow. I'm not sure they fit in the GTR's trunk. And he's like, okay. So, and finally, like it takes, you know, we eventually tell him that, you know, hey, so-and-so crashed your car. He's fine. Everybody's fine ish. And you know, it's yours. And he was actually really worried that it was like going to undo the deal at that point because he'd become very excited about his new car. So it worked quite well. Like he stayed very happy with the whole thing, but I guess there was some leverage he didn't get to use against us.
You guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we're not trustworthy people.
I keep thinking about, I am a sheep, a lamb in this world.
You are a lemming, sir.
Yeah.
Following the likes of Kyle and Ed off the price cliff.
You're selling a product, right? You know, you're selling a product. The sticker price is there. It's not like we're going above. Well,
no. I'm like from a sales perspective, I've got a lot of respect for this. This is really intense stuff. But you always hear this stuff about car salesmen and the whole industry of car sales, and then to hear it firsthand, it's like, oh wow, like. A lot of those aren't myths.
It's mostly like that for used cars, though, unless the person's really dumb. Because used cars, they don't know what you took the car in on. You may have bamboozled the person who traded that car in, and so if you can double bamboozle, if you can bamboozle the guy who buys it, then you could make a $12,000 profit. Maybe you gave the guy $6,000 less than what the trade-in was made, and then you sell it for $6,000 more than it's worth, and you can really go to town. I did that once with an excursion, you know, like when I took it down on trade, I was like, man, look at the gas prices out there. And this was like 2005. Gas was maybe close to $4 a gallon in Atlanta. It's like, look at the gas prices. This thing, you got a V10 Excursion here. And that's not even the desirable one. Just really downselling the thing. But then when I go to sell it, this is a premier vehicle. You got the V10. All right, that's the good one.
It's the biggest number.
It's more V's than anything else. Yeah.
This is literally
the most V's you could get.
This is literally the largest SUV ever made by a man. All right, they're discontinued. That's how big they are. You can fit a smart car in the back hatch of this truck. Okay,
These are so popular. They're discontinuing them.
And that was all true.
This green Ford that I think you linked,
that's
Kyle.
Yeah.
That is horrific.
That's the one.
The Griswolds would buy this thing.
That looks like a very British car to drive for a Ford, though.
He loved it. He loved it so much. Yeah. He came back and bought another car from me after that. He was so pleased. He brought his wife. Like they loved me to death. And I had a good sales pitch for that car. Like just talking about the Volvo chassis and comparing Ford to Volvo for some reason as far as safety, just drawing a parallel there. And I've gone through my bullshit walk around speech, that I did on every single car that was identical in every single car.
This one comes with the Kevlar belts.
Yeah, these fan belts are made out of Kevlar, the same stuff that make bullet. They are all made out of Kevlar.
You could probably tell people that the windows on their car are bulletproof.
Right? How are they going to go test it?
How are they going to know? If someone tries to shoot them while they're in there, problem solved. Ostensibly, because it's not bulletproof.
Yep, exactly.
I just want to hear how badly I screwed up. All right. Last year, I bought a Ford F-150. It's a nice one. It's the Platinum, right? So it's like the second highest level. And say it again?
Gangsta.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't know how much to pay for it. I don't it's not my area of expertise. I don't know. So I pull up Edmunds and it says what people are paying for it. And I'm like, all right, so this is it. I punch in all the items. It says this number is what a good deal is. And they make it. And then I get $2,000 off of that because there's some rebates and stuff. Lamb dealing with wolves did okay. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're below because those are usually consumer reported values saying this is what I was able to negotiate. A lot of them actually do a tremendous amount of work in dollars that don't matter because they're going to own the car for forever. So yeah, I mean, I would imagine you were within what was possible. Now, there's always the rumors that it's best to buy at the end of the month, in the quarter, into that stuff. That is 100% true. The deals that are available then can be a lot more aggressive because a lot of the money is conditional based on volume. So the rebates they can get are a lot more, have some sensitivity there. They're much more motivated, and they will give you, they will lose money on a car. You hear, we're losing money on it. That's 100% true. They are in that deal losing money. Now it's still a calculated business decision, and you should assume, as most do, there's something else in it for them, but that doesn't mean it's right there, easy to get.
Yeah, and they're not in the truest sense losing money. That's still turned.
Well, they're losing money on that individual car,
on that individual one, but it's opening up more space on the lot for another car.
Well, what it's doing in our case, a lot of the times our managers had bonuses based on volume, and the GM is we've sold 497 cars this month. At 500, I get $10,000. So let's crank 3 out in the next 2 hours. Figure it out, you know, and
don't lose a deal.
Yeah. And they'll lose a couple $1,000s to sell a car.
Well, see, the manager that was there while I had the rental car company here in Atlanta was paid on a net profit plan. All right. So whatever profit was reported at the end of the month, he got a percentage of that. And the vulnerability there is that as you inflate the profits by putting more money in the trades, because let's say he talked about an under allowance. All right. If the car is worth $10,000 and I show you 8, essentially I've made $2,000 because, you didn't get all your car is worth. And if I put it on my books at what it's really worth at at 10 grand, then I've got 2 more grand to assign to this transaction. So he was overvaluing the trades. If it was worth 10, he was calling them worth 15. And these numbers, we're not talking about 10 or 15 grand. We're talking about 180,000 versus 250,000. And so I came in and I would look through deals where they had traded, where they sold cars that I was then trying to trade in, and they would have lost $40,000 or $50,000 after they realized that in doing that he had stolen like $2 or $3 million from the store in inflated profits that weren't that real.
Yeah, that's pretty shady. That's criminal.
Yeah, it didn't work out well for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, don't do that. My manager was a bit of a criminal himself. He had a different business before he went into car sales, and it was very much an illegal one. But
still sales? Am I getting the vibe right?
Still sales.
Yeah,
though.
right. I think even I'm up to speed.
It was so fucked up because as his friends who had all taken the rap for him, this is like an episode of The Wire. As each of his friends would get out of prison they had all taken the rap, he would hire them as salesmen. So like, there's Garrett over there. He doesn't sell a lot of cars, but he gets a lot of cheese deals. It seems like anytime a rapper comes in and needs 5 Dodges, even though we don't sell Dodge here, 5 new Dodges show up and Garrett gets to write those deals up. And there's Greg over there. They make Greg a manager already. Huh.
Now, Greg doesn't speak English.
Right.
And
Greg is ambition.
Greg is like, I was running the cook. He told me that was private.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, I was running the cook. And Garrett over there, he was muscle. And I'm just like, what the fuck kind of place is this? Why am I feel like I'm the only one around here who's just selling cars, and that's all.
That's why you were such a favorite. It's like, now, Kyle, that's the kind of guy you don't owe prison favors to.
It was ridiculous because there were
Patrice is only here because he stopped me from getting raped in the shower.
Yeah, that's literally the case. Garrett had been in jail so long he'd become a black Muslim. He's over there with his Quran over there. I'm just like.
Did he get to wear that cool ass like white sheet with the little helmet? Like
nah, he didn't take it.
That looks so comfortable. I'm so jealous of Saudi Arabians that they get to just go around like that.
It was still only like 4 years after 9/11, so everybody was a little sensitive about that sort of thing. We had those 2 Somalian guys. One of them's name was Moses, which is fine. You could be Moses in Atlanta, and everybody will buy from you, especially with that snappy African accent. The other's name was Muhammad, and Muhammad went by Mo. And, Mo was a real friendly guy, and he loved to joke about that shit. He was like, "Have you ever seen Black Hawk Down?" And I'm like, yeah, that was me with the RPG. And I'm like,
today we are blowing up prices. It is going to be so good you want to kill yourself.
We have declared jihad on Chevrolet.
We have declared a jihad on high prices.
We are slashing them.
Jesus Christ.
We are cutting the clit off of our profit margin.
We have ginned them.
How do you top cutting the clit off the profit margin? I think that might be where.
Yeah, those guys were fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that was definitely the case. And so we all hated them. We all hated them because. And 1 month they had it in that they were going to make Garrett salesman of the month, which was a big deal. I don't.
Is there money with that or prestige?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mostly prestige, though. That's what I liked about it.
You're less likely to be fired the next month.
Oh, it was hard to get fired. I can go into that for a while, but it was hard. They would just quit, because they're paying you commission against your hours. You would go in the bucket, and you would owe them. They don't give a fuck if you sit at one of those desks. There's plenty of desks. Have a seat, young man. Go for it. But make Garrett salesman of the month. It was the fix was in. They just feeding him. Just in one day, 6 cars, and like it was that instance I mentioned a minute ago.
Is salesman of the month just tied into sales, or is it like a judgment call?
It's how many cars you got out.
It's volume.
So he's earned salesman of the month, except they're all cheese deals, which means they just Like he doesn't have to.
They've been given to him. He's
Right.
filling out
They're
paperwork.
negotiated by management. He gets to do the paperwork, and he gets the little bit of profit that gets assigned to them. But more importantly, he gets the units, which is how you're evaluated.
Yeah, and his commission is rising on each one. So you know, you might get 20%. You might get like 20% commission if you sell one car, but by the time you get to 20, you might be getting 38% or 40% commission on these things. It works out really nicely if you can get out 20 fucking cars. It's hard to do that though unless you're being fed. And so like Young Jeezy, the rapper, comes in and he wanted
A
5.
lot of rappers in these stories.
And he's
I don't know any of them. What did you say, Ed? I talked over you.
Lil Hoodlum.
You're better off for not having to deal with him.
With Young Jeezy. Well, he came in.
Sounds like Ed knows Young Jeezy as well.
He's a little fella.
Yep, they're all
That's
little.
so funny.
All of them. All
You
of
guys
them.
both know Young
You call him
Jeezy
Little
and Busta
Jeezy. I
Rhymes.
could have beat the shit out of Young Jeezy with one arm tied behind my back at 19 years old, and he was a grown ass man, just little punk dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, he wanted 5 Chargers. I think the Challenger wasn't a thing yet, so the Charger was like the cool Dodge, and I think you could get them with like a big engine in them, maybe a 6-liter or something like that. In any case, he wanted 5 of these things, one for each of his guys, and he wanted them all the same. So we lost
Oh,
Ed.
we lost him.
Yeah,
So
one hit
Young
hit,
Jeezy looks kind of tough and badass when it. I assume
He may have
Jeezy.
bulked up in the last 15 years.
Well, since 2004,
And he's
things
worth
could have
15
happened.
million. Dude, you should. I'm going to link this guy. I hope this works for you.
You're good. You're good. He's saying that Young Jeezy has bulked up in the interim period of time.
Dude, look at him. This guy looks
He's
like
gotten bigger.
he
All right,
would
he's
kick
gotten
my
bigger.
ass. This
He
guy.
didn't look like that. He didn't look like that. I promise you.
I'll take Young Jeezy, and I haven't even seen the photo.
I linked it.
He could total a Lamborghini with the best of them. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Yeah, killed
He's
one.
5'9". Yeah, that's what I thought.
5'9" celebrity height is like 5'7" real person height.
He's
Exactly.
a little guy. I'm telling you, he's
Okay.
a little dude. Like we were all taking note of his boys were large gentlemen though.
Do
And,
they just look big next to him?
No, they looked big next to a Durango.
Okay.
They looked big because they were fucking big. And I want 5 of these, and we're a corporate store, so we've got every make and model. He just calls the Dodge dealership and gets 5 of these things brought over and sells. And Garrett just doing the paperwork. And we hated this. And the I can't think of his name, but it was the African guy who got the car stolen that time. He had the most cars. He maybe had 18. I maybe had 13, and Garrett had like, I don't know, 19 or something. It was like neck and neck. And so I was like, we're not going to have this, dude. We're not going to have this. Saturday's coming up. They're really going to have to feed him because I'm splitting every car I do for the rest of the month with you. And so because I can get my half unit. My other buddy's like, me too. Let's fucking do this. They want to play dirty. We're playing dirty. And nobody's taking note of what we're doing. You know, we just fill out the paperwork, put 2 names on it, and it goes in the system.
So why is that good, right? Like you're getting half a unit instead of a whole unit. Like
Yeah, I'm losing money.
not just money, but even units, right? When you split a deal, do you both get a unit?
We get half a unit.
With
each.
So I don't
think
know
this
why-
is mostly spite driven.
This is spite.
I don't see how it even makes the numbers bigger. Because when you sell a car,
Because
you
he
only
gets-
get half.
He gets 0.5 every time I sell a car.
And
I'm going to
you
sell a
don't-
lot
His
of
own
cars.
cars.
Oh wait,
So, yeah, if
you're
Kyle
not
sells 2
doing it for
cars,
you.
and that
You're
other guy
just
sells
doing
2
it to
cars.
hook up your friend.
Yeah,
He's not
I'm hooking
splitting
him
with
up.
you too.
Yeah, no, he's not.
It's a
he's-
reverse big score.
Yeah,
I
I'm hooking
understand.
him up with half of everything I do.
I thought
so
you
is
were
my
both
buddy
splitting.
Saul. So Saul and I are like, let's fucking do this. Let's fucking go hard in the paint here. And we each get out like 6 more cars or something in the last couple days, and 6 more cars go on to our buddy's record. And so CJ, it comes time to count up the cars and figure out who's the salesman of the month. You know, it's rolled over. We've got these big meetings in the morning, and there's 25 salesmen and 4 or 5 managers, and this is the meeting where money gets literally thrown in the air and cash wads of cash get tossed around. Not like thousands of dollars, but hundreds of dollars.
You get a 20. You get a 20.
It'd be wads of ones a lot of the times, you know, just to get the crowd fired
To
up.
get you excited because it looks like a lot. Yeah.
He's announcing bonuses for like X amount of units and you know all this time based stuff and all these ways that
Is he doing like the Wolf of Wall Street, like moonwalking across the stage, like getting everybody hyped up, like pulling women's tits out?
I mean, not none of that, but he's getting us fired up, and he's being mean to the people who are underperforming. Like he's shitting on some people, he's pumping other people up, and he's throwing cash money, and he's like, and who was salesman of the month last month? Let's see it. And you could tell like he thinks it's Garrett, and they're like, Garrett with 19 cars. All right, very nice. And I can't think of the other guy's name, but let's just call him Pete, even though he's from Africa. That was not his name.
Bunte, yeah.
Pete had 24 out of Pete in August. Let's hear it for Pete. And he's like, wait, what the fuck? Garrett, you didn't get the most out? What the fuck happened, Garrett? What the fuck happened? Look, man, I gave you 15. Well, you only sold 4 cars like on your own in 30 days.
I love that he's shitting on number 2 in this situation.
Yeah, well, it was like,
because he wouldn't have been a natural number 2.
I get it. That's why I love it. Yeah.
That's the guy that gave away half his own deals, right? that flies. Like, we're not worried about that.
I still ended up with like 16 or something, giving away 3 cars or something like that. I had a great month too. And Saul we were doing well, and my buddy gave me some cash to make up for those deals afterwards, and took me out for drink. That wasn't agreed upon going in. That wasn't like, all right, you give me money and I give you cars. There was no deal like that.
This isn't fraudulent.
No, it really it wouldn't be fraudulent even if it were agreed upon, because it's some sort of salesman's race, and it's all like just a gentleman's bet in most regard, really. But afterwards he was like, that was cool, guys. That was really cool. And he took us out for drinks. He gave me a couple $100.
Is it fraudulent if a customer takes out a life insurance policy on you?
Yeah.
I didn't know
if
that
they kill you.
You're right. Yeah, he didn't do that.
A customer took out a life insurance policy on you?
He sold life insurance, and he calls me one day and he goes, Ed, how healthy are you? And I said, I didn't die yet today. And he said, I send somebody to take some blood? Yeah, I guess so. You bought a lot of Lamborghinis. I'm in the yes part of our relationship right now. And he bought a huge term life insurance or whole life insurance policy, the expensive kind. And I was like, and he's like, I'll send you money every month to pay it, but I get enough of a bonus to make it worth. And it was a lot. It was like $400 or $500 a month that he had to send me to pay the premiums for this thing that he had sold.
That's awesome.
Well, he got such a big bonus; it was worth it.
Medical tests.
I literally thought it was the other way. He was like, you know what? This guy goes to 150 and hits the brake a lot. I'm going to roll the dice that one of these times the brakes don't work. It's like betting at the casino.
Yeah, there was definitely a time when I wouldn't have been surprised if someone had made me that same offer. How healthy are you? I mean, I don't really know. I'll go to the doctor. Well, let's try it. But they said I'm going to send someone to take blood. That's always a big no for me, because I always turn that down. Whenever asked for blood, unless there's a court order, I always say
your
no.
DNA is top secret. Is that the
or is it a needle thing?
It's I don't give my blood out to people who just want it for no. What do you mean? Can I have some of your blood, Taylor?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, fellas, real quick. If YouTube never existed, what would you be doing today?
I'd be some sort of senior architect at Cisco.
I'd be hiding in the bushes outside of some lady's house.
Kyle, that actually sounds about right.
I was waiting to see if there was a punchline or not.
No,
there was no punchline to that.
Oh.
That's what he'd be doing.
Just darkness. Darkness.
Darkness.
What about you guys?
I'd be in car sales. I would.
I was going to say that's what I was doing. I really enjoyed car sales. I loved it a lot. I made good money, and I'd probably kept going and went into management doing that, because those guys made sick money. Those guys,
hell yeah.
It's people don't know like what our manager would always say in sales meetings. He's like, do you know what the number one best paid job is in the world? It's not doctor, it's not lawyer, it's salesman. And statistically, that's true, and depending on what you sell, if you're selling Nikes at the mall, probably not doing great. But if you're selling Mercedes Benzes, or if you're selling boats, or if you're or something like that, or if you're very good at selling real estate.
Software, copy machines, like anything expensive.
Yeah. And there's no overhead. You go into a dealership, you sit down at your desk. If you're personable, charismatic, and you know how to work your leads, and you're good at all the things that make a good salesman, you can really make a shitload of money. And if you're smart enough to go beyond, there were some guys who were just really charismatic, but they didn't have any book smarts. They weren't going to be able to really get organized enough to manage a team of salesmen. The guys who were managers were really making tons of. My general manager was making $250,000 a month.
When you were saying they made good money, I was thinking $250,000 a year.
Oh no! Like the not even the best salesman made that.
Well, you just said
a lot of salesmen didn't make jack though, right? Like there are people who are bad.
A lot of them. We'd see him come in. We'd be like, oh. He's not going to last. He's not going to last. The turnover rate, insane. I watched so many people come and go in that dealership over the course of 2.5 years or whatever. So many people. Yeah, lots of people make nothing. And they're forced to pay you minimum wage, but they call that going in the bucket because they don't actually pay you minimum wage. They loan you minimum wage. So they're paying you whatever, $6.50 an hour or whatever. I don't even know what it is. And let's say you work the first 2 weeks, don't sell a car, and they've paid out whatever. Let's just say it's $800 over the last 2 weeks of you working by the hours. Then you sell a car and you make an $800 commission. That nets to zero because they get that money back. If you're not selling cars, you're not making shit. But if you're selling a lot of cars, you're making tens of thousands of dollars a month. And the difference between making $8,000 a month and making $15,000 a month isn't doubling your car sales. It's maybe adding 20% to your car sales because you start hitting bonuses and they grandfather back on the sales you made initially, the percentage of the gross you get per car. So like if you sell 10 cars, you might only be getting like a 20% commission. But if you sell 20 cars, you might be getting a 35% commission. And that goes back on those first 10 cars and that you sold. So
how long did you sell cars?
A little over 2 years in Atlanta.
So
that was
enough.
That was
I was going to ask about the months, right? Like December, for example, sucks, right? I'm told.
There were months that were really poor. I don't remember ever doing really badly, except when my girlfriend broke up, when I went into a sad time. I didn't sell any cars then. But during the summer was definitely the best time. And I was selling cars right around when the economy was doing really shitty in Atlanta. Like gasoline was Katrina happened right then. Gasoline was like $4 or $5 a gallon at one point in Atlanta. So those were all bad things for car sales. But yeah, there's definitely parts of the year where you don't sell very many cars, and you've got to be working old leads. If you saw somebody in the summer that was talking about buying a car, but they needed to get their credit union in line, or they needed to save up a little bit more for that down payment, or they needed to work on their credit rating, you got to be working those old leads. You got to be really hitting the pavement to get your sales in.
I was going to ask the time to buy, but I already know it, and I don't like the answer. Right? I'm told the time to buy is right before the next model comes out. And it's like, well, fuck, you want the next model, right? Like of course it's the time to buy. Who wants to buy then?
It depends what you want, right? Like if something just has come out and it's hot, like when the new Mustangs came out, they wouldn't really depreciate those much. They certainly want to lose any money. But if you're buying an F-150, you're fine. You can still get a great deal on one. They're still going to discount it. Especially big stores have lots of volume. Go to a major city where they've got, a 10-acre lot or something like that. We had 15 acres of cars. We rode golf carts around to get around the place. They'll discount cars to make deals. The end of the month, really, it should get the job done. And I'm not going to go into that whole spiel about why that's good to do, but just trust me, end of the month is the time to do it. They're trying to hit bonuses from management to upper management to salesmen. Everybody's trying to hit another bonus to squeeze cars out.
Funny enough, I was on the opposite side of that spectrum there, Kyle. I was working for CarMax as a buyer. So I was the guy that you would see when you would want to trade your vehicles in, and I would go out and do the appraisal. And then, send you off with a check if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. We that's pretty cool. I was working for an AutoNation store, so it was a big corporate thing. You didn't have like, I don't know, one owner to deal with or anything like that. I feel like that would be frustrating if it's like Big Bob's car lot and like Big Bob is the showstopper. You know, it was a corporate store and we were the corporate headquarters, and that was really fun. And you know, working in that car dealership, it was bizarre that like there were like 2-3 white guys in the whole place, and everybody there was from somewhere. You know, nobody was from there, from Atlanta. Everybody was from Nigeria, Ghana, Mexico, Russia, Ukraine, Japan, Australia, Mexico City, just everywhere. You know, it was Fiji. Fucking hell, I almost got in a fight with a guy from Fiji one day because he couldn't take a fucking joke. His name was Mitty. And I prank phone called Mitty. You know, everybody in the stores got connected phone lines, of course. You know, you could just press 5 and get somebody's desk. I know Mitty's desk number. Call his, and he's new. His English is good, but he's got a strong accent. You know, if you've never seen someone from Fiji, they're Asian. I call Mitty's phone. I'm like, I do a real effeminate gay voice, which probably isn't. And I tell him, you know, hey, I'm gonna come in and buy a car. You know, and every time I buy a car, I ask for a little token from my salesman. You know, last time I got his tie. One time before I got the guy's shoe. You know, I asked for something to remember the salesman. I was wondering, I'm ready to come in and buy today. I want this F-150. I'm sure you have it. I've been driving by every day and looking at it. It's the one for me. Could I have your underwear though? And he's like, we're watching him. Like, I got a whole crew around my desk, like all my friends, and we're watching him across the sales room. And he's like, yes, you could have my underwear. What? Do you wear boxers or briefs? He's like, briefs. I'm like, well, I'm on the way. Get those underwear off. I want them when I get there. Dude goes to the bathroom, takes his underwear off, and when he comes out, we start laughing at him. And come on, it's a 45-year-old man, and I'm a 19-year-old kid, and he could not take the joke. And he punched me in the stomach, and I shoved him, and we almost got in a big fight there in the middle of the fucking showroom. He hit me with like a Bruce Lee punch, though. It was funny. He was like, "Ho!" like this. The punch came from low, and it kind of like did a thing with his left arm too. It was worth doing because just for him to hit me like that, I thought it was funny. It was fun. Those are good times. We'd all be sitting in this group, like just within the door of the car dealership, because there's like a big like theater area with like a bank of televisions. You know, with like whatever was on, movies or football. Usually the football game because it's the weekend, and it might look like we're just sitting there in no order whatsoever, but we all have a mental order of who's next to get the customer coming through the door, and who's after him, and who's after him, and who's after him. Like, we all know who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 based on how long we've been sitting there, waiting in line, even though there is no line. And a Canadian would come in, and you'd just be like, I noticed Sergey went to the bathroom. He was up, though. Should one of you take the customer? Because we don't. I'm not. I refuse.
Was the problem that Canadians tend to be just lookers and not buyers? Is that the
problem? They don't have any fucking credit.
So they'd be buyers, and then you get to the end of the sales process, and it would fall through.
Not only that, it would be like, and I'm not saying this to be like offensive or stereotypical. This is like an actual over and over. It would happen. Like this guy would want like a $70,000 expedition. And we get to the part of it where I'm showing him the payments, and I'm like, all right, it's a $70,000 expedition. The payments are $1,450 per month. And he's like, what the fuck? How can that be? And I'm just like, because of math. Like, you know, we take X amount of months times X amount of dollars to get back to $80,000 worth of car after we've paid taxes, dude. Like, how do you not know that? He's like, I was like, what kind of payment were you looking for? $375, maybe $400? And it's like,
so not a lot of wiggle room here.
Pal, I have a question.
All right. Well,
do you want the front third of the car?
Exactly.
You can sit in it.
That won't even buy half the car that you're looking at. Like for $400 a month.
So I've had this happen to me a bunch, right? I find myself at the dealership for one reason or another, maybe I'm getting a car serviced or whatever, and all the salesmen are like, "Ooh, here's a guy," and they want me, and I'm like, truth is, I want to sit in this car, but I'm a total waste of your time. I'm not even shopping. Did that guy lose his spot on me, or like, I guess he did? Yeah.
Yeah, and he might get in trouble if he just leaves you alone.
I'm a horrible customer.
No, I mean it's fine. It just depends on like what the environment of that dealership is. Like sometimes they would get it, and sometimes they won't. Like management, you could be like, no, he literally is just looking. Oh, really? That's like how every girl says, no, I just want to kiss. And like 80, well, I don't know, 40% of the time you end up fucking though, right? It's like, yeah. All right. Do you want to miss out on 40% of your sales? No. All right. You don't believe them when they say that. We're not raping. Don't misunderstand. I wasn't talking about rape here. But you kiss them anyway, even though like the goal is to sell the car. You know, you hang out with them and try to sell them the car, even if they're set. Because the times that someone came in and they were like, I was like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Big Daddy Ford. My name's Kyle, and you are. And he's, I'm Richard, but I'm just looking. All right, let's look together. Let me help you find what you're looking for. You know, I'll leave you alone. I won't bother you, but this is a big lot. It's 14 acres. I could be of some help. And if you're with me, they won't bother you, and I'll send you on your way, and I'll leave you alone.
There's two scenarios though, right? I've been there where it's like, hey, I'm just looking. When that can mean I'm just starting the car buying process. And if you're really good, we might finish it today. It can also mean, oh, well, my real car is in there getting serviced. It's only a year old, and I'm just looking at this year's, you know, like I'm not in the market for a Mustang. My truck's getting the oil change.
What about your wife? What about your kid?
Yeah.
But your dad would love a birthday present.
Her car's newer than mine. My dad's fine on.
But she's a terrible driver. She'll probably wreck up soon.
That is a strong point.
It'd be nice if you knew what was coming next. Maybe something with more airbags. Have you seen the new Volvo?
Yeah, that's touche.
Yeah, but almost no one would come in and be like, I'm here to buy a car. I know what I want. I have my credit union check. It's already made out for this amount of money because this is what I'm paying. Like, that's happened. Like, that's absolutely happened. And you'd be like, well, all right. Just sit down right there. I'll take the check, and they'll wash the car. And you want some coffee, you know, and you've sold a car. But almost every other single time, like 99% of the time, it's like, I'm just looking. I just want to look around. Blah blah blah. When in reality, they're like, if you injected them with truth serum, they would say, I'm here to buy a car. I'm here to buy a car. I'm here to buy a car.
Okay.
Or I don't want to buy a car.
I don't want to buy a car,
but I might. I might you know, stick the tip of a car in.
I might regret signing those finance documents. Demand you take the car back.
That's happened. That has happened when people renege. But you know, under Georgia law, once they drive over the code, a deal's a deal.
Is that the deal in Georgia?
Yep.
I don't know North Carolina's deal.
Nor do I.
The guy was almost like overselling me because like I don't like the process, and I like did the research beforehand. I was like, oh, this Honda's great, fucking perfect. I'm a bare bones car guy. I don't give a fuck about cars. Cheap. It's gonna work forever. Basic. It's got Bluetooth, so I can listen to fucking whatever on my phone. It's all I need. And so I went in and like told him, I'm like, oh, this one? Yeah, I want this one. And he's like, and he just would not stop doing the upsell thing. Cause I think this wasn't nearly as good of a car to be selling as some of the other ones on there, like the amount. Cause it's just, you know, this was in the bottom, like tier. Like even though it was a Honda dealership, they have some expensive shit, like even like Land Cruisers and stuff. But like, he would just not take yes for an answer. Same with the finance guy. The finance guy kept trying to get me to buy like additional, like warranties and shit. And over, like it was a thing where I had to be like, no, I'm going to go with the one that comes with Honda. Like I'm going to do like the one that's with that. And he's like, okay, so you're just going to do this basic one. And then I'd be like, assuming, and I'd be like, yeah, let's get this going. And then like, he would like try and sneak it in almost. He'd be like, so if you're going with the lowest one, I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm not. Why do you have your family facing towards me? Are you trying to like,
because it's the only way I make money. Otherwise, I'm just doing paperwork for you.
Yeah, exactly. And he just did paperwork for me because that shit's a scam. I'm not doing that.
Unless you finance the car.
Unless you find it, then it's worthwhile.
No. Unless you finance the car, and then he probably made a quarter point on you. At least.
Oh no, I didn't finance it through that guy.
Yeah, I'm with Taylor.
Wait,
I got my guy.
Oh, at all?
No, I got a better deal through the bank I use.
Ah, okay. Wow, he literally didn't get paid.
No, he didn't do anything. Fuck
My
the
guy didn't get paid.
He treated me like a retard.
He was just trying to upsell thing, and I was like, look, you're not going to land this. Like, I'm not going to buy it. I feel like I need to be polite, and you can say your thing. And he's like, cool. So he says it, and I'm like, no. And then he said what I needed to hear, which is, all right, well, if you're not going to get there, you might as well get there fast. And he just finished the paperwork. Like, no more selling, no more,
Yeah, see, he gave you an option. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I should have lied.
I think if you were there,
No, you lie. You just pretend like these things are part of the package, and you just sort of and you just move along.
that wouldn't have worked. There was
Not 100% of the time, no. Nothing works 100% of the time.
It
But it
wouldn't
worked
have
enough
worked
that
on
You
me.
cast a wide net of fraudulence.
I hear you. I hear you. It would be impossible to get me to buy that.
Was there a documentation fee or of any kind?
I think
It's incredibly rare that there isn't.
there might have been, but I usually work pretty hard to get that knocked off. And then they tell me they can't knock it off, that it's not fair for everyone. Then I suggest they remove it from the price, and that's how we work it.
Ours was $700.
It's something
I would have
outrageous
noticed that.
Yeah.
700.
I think I had to remove the
Well, they don't notice that since when you're charging them another $1,000 for permaplate, which doesn't exist. So they usually argue about that first, and then when they get back around to the permaplate, you're like, "Hey, I took the $1,000 of stuff that doesn't exist already off for you," and
Yeah,
No, I remember.
already gave you a discount.
I found the price in a magazine or like a website or something that said what I should buy for this trim level.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll play that plus tax. Nothing else. You absorb the cost. That's how it went. So I don't know if I did well or not.
you probably did fine. I mean, they made some money, but you got a decent deal. You didn't get quote unquote your head knocked off, as they say.
Probably not.
No, it was probably like one of the employee plans is what they would have listed, where they're making $500, which I think is fair. It's a fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah. To go off topic, the paramotor industry often is the worst in the resellers. You can buy the wing direct for whatever it is, $2,600, or you can buy it from a local dealer for $2,800. They don't keep it in stock. They don't service it. They don't warranty it. They don't let you return it. How are you earning your part of it at all? You're not a value-added reseller. You're just a expensive middleman.
Basically, just a distribution center for you to show up and buy it, and then no accountability.
Even a distribution center often keeps some kind of inventory. You still have to wait 3 weeks for it to arrive.
Yeah, I guess if they don't even have inventory, they're not even a distribution center. They're
just a
people who occasionally have inventory and might sell you a product.
They don't keep it. Yeah, some do, but for by and large, yeah, they just, I don't know.
Yeah, I was talking about you guys before the show that I'd never talked about, and I've got plenty of stories from this job, but I'd never talked about this rental car company that I worked for, right out of college. And because it turns out that when you graduate, this was 7 years ago, 2013, when a lot of this happened, 2013, 14 mostly. And I worked at a rental car company, and it doesn't really matter what company it is. It's the kind where you have to dress up like you're going to a bar mitzvah, and really you just look like a retard renting cars in a suit, which sucks. And it's the kind where you have to pick someone up. And so I started working at this company, and one of the first things they do is they're like, and I'm right out of college, so I'm ready to be like, all right, I'm not going to make much money. I'm barely going to make any money. This is going to suck. I'm going to be working so much for this job, and I'm barely going to be bringing home anything, but whatever. You got to start somewhere. And so I started working for this company. They sent me down to their main city where they train all the new people, and they give you a roommate in these situations, and they pair you up with a random guy. I was 22 at the time, I think, just turned 22. This guy was 26, 27, Mormon, already had 3 kids. And there's an old adage. When I lived in Idaho, I learned a lot of Mormon adages. And one of them about Mormons is never go fishing with one Mormon because they'll drink all your beer. Always bring a second Mormon so that they won't drink in front of each other. And so I'm trying to get ready for my first job and training and stuff. And I'm like, man, I had no perspective. I'm just worried about not getting something right. And so we get in there that night. I'm like ready to buckle down and study the little book and everything. I'm in the room, and he comes in and he's like, hey, you're Taylor, right? And I'm like, yeah, you must be Andy. He's like, yeah, real nice to meet you, man. Real nice to meet you. So where are you from? We have this little talk, and he's like, yeah. So what do you want to do tonight? I was like, we're on a work thing. It was my first ever work trip. And I was like, I assume you do work all the time on these. I'm trying to learn so I don't look like a fool tomorrow. And he's like, nah, I'm sure we'll be fine. Listen, you want to like go to a bar or something? And I was like, not particularly. It's already like 9 p.m. And he's like, how about we do, there's a liquor store across the street. Let's go to the liquor store and we'll get a couple things. I was like, all right, I'll have a few beers tonight. And so I go over to the liquor store with him. I grab a 6-pack and I'm just waiting at the front for like 5-6 minutes, which is a long time to wait, standing there with a guy you don't know. And eventually I'm like, where the fuck is this motherfucker? And I start walking around, and he is like picking up every bottle of liquor, like fascinated with it, like, oh my God, like the forbidden fruit for this guy. He loads up a mini cart with, we're there for 4 nights, and he has enough booze for us to go on a 3-week bender. Both of us. He has no idea how much this. He loads it up, and he's coming to the front, all fucking smiles, this guy. He's like, you got all your stuff? I'm like, got like 1 6-pack of Bud Light. He's like, all right. So we check everything out, go back to the room. I start like drinking a beer while I'm doing everything. I turn around after maybe 15-20 minutes. He's drank half a bottle of vodka by himself, already blackout drunk. And this guy stayed blackout drunk for the next 4 days. He was showing up to like the work things drunk. He was out of fucking control. We would finish something up. Turns out Mormons get degenerate as shit once they get a little liquor in them. Maybe that's a rule. There was one night he was begging me. He's like, come on, man, it's our last night here. Come on, let's go to the hot tub at the hotel. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the hot tub. He brings the free glass thing you use to rinse your mouth out next to the sink, and a bottle of Jack Daniels that he sets next to the hot tub. And we're sitting there with like 2 other normal people, and I don't even think I brought a beer because it wasn't allowed. And he gets wasted here, and he spends the entire last night and the second to last night vomiting and keeping me awake until like 4 a.m. And it was over and over. And at the end of it, he's like talking to me like we experienced a Hangover 2 style adventure. It's like, man, crazy times, right? And it's like, I haven't been drunk the whole time we've been here. I've had like 3 beers at a time. And he's like, nah, dude, we did crazy stuff. Anyway, dude, see you later, bro. Heard from him because he worked in a different state, different area. He had to go to rehab for alcoholism, which apparently started on that little trip he and I had. So I got to watch the beginning of a flower blossom of addiction. And I actually encouraged it because I thought he'd be able to handle it. So yeah, that guy did it. Another thing about rental car places, do not buy the insurance if you have your own insurance. They're going to try and scare you because they tell the salespeople to scare the shit out of you. And what I discovered working out in Idaho with this, where there's a lot of Hispanic people who, like the first generation, don't speak English, and so they have their kids talk to you. The only people who buy insurance are people who don't need it, and the only people who don't buy insurance are people who do need it. Where like I can't count the number of times I'd be like at a fucking airport location, and some person would come up, like some Mexican lady, and then her very young, like 7-year-old kid, and I'd be like, "Hey, how can I help you, ma'am?" And then the kid would have to say like, "We want a car." I'd be like, "That's great. Can you tell your mom that I need her license and her credit card?" And she hands me a license and a very dented debit card. And I have to be like, no, this is a debit. It's a debit card. You need a credit card. She's like, no, it's credit. I use a credit card. It's like, yeah, you can hit credit when you're buying a Diet Coke at a 7-Eleven. But when you're renting a $75,000 Yukon, we can't run it as that. You have $75 in your account. And like the number of times I didn't try and sell like rich people any insurance. Like I was the fastest at writing the tickets because I'd be like, you got insurance, brother? You'd be like, yeah. It's like, you're fucking perfect. Fucking good, dude. Should I buy the insurance? No. Like, get out of here. I don't get commission for this. Why the fuck would I rip you off? But then when there would be like a Hispanic woman who comes up, I'm like, ma'am, please. If you wreck this, Javier, can you tell your mom what I'm saying right now? If you wreck the Yukon, that's an $80,000 car. 8,000 car.
That's not.
8,000 car. So if you wreck this car, you have to pay for the whole thing. The whole car. Javier, you're looking at the vending machines. Javier, your mom, the whole car. See, yeah, whole car. It's like, so if you pay $20 extra a day, if you wreck it, you don't pay anything. But if you wreck it, your life and your children's lives are ruined. Just pony up and do it. They would never buy the insurance, and it felt like 10% of the time they'd come back and get absolutely fucked. The people who would buy it were like rich white yuppies who already had fantastic AAA or something and would just drop $20 for no reason a day on it. So never buy that shit. There was so much tomfoolery and nonsense. Always check your contracts from those people because they will sneak shit in order to get sales. Like, they will tell you, there was one skeevy motherfucker that I worked with that was the worst about this. The forestry registry came in out of Idaho, where I was. Apparently that's where the biggest conglomerate of these firefighters come from. And then they all moved from there down to fight the wildfires in California. And they had set contracts. But because we worked on a DOS system, a DOS prompt system, we could manipulate the contracts. And so there was this one bitch who, Amy, if you're out there, I hope life is going terrible for you. I hope it sucks. I hope you got divorced after you left us. And so, because what she did is they have like sales goals. And if you hit a certain thing, they incentivize by like, you can just go home. You can go home if you want to do that. This bitch would take $20,000 in sales and apply it to a forest registry contract. And those guys don't give a shit. They'll sign whatever. And so then if I'm returning a car on the return lane and it pulls up that what was supposed to be a $1,200 rental for 2 weeks to the forest registry is actually a $35,000 fee. Do you know how upset a group of dirty firefighters get when you tell them they owe $35,000 for that? They get so upset. And then I have to call like the fire commissioner of it and tell him, I'm so sorry. I got to refund $35,000, the cost of a nice fucking Optima that they already paid us. And then I get yelled at. That shit was the fucking worst. That job sucked. Another thing they would fucking do is I worked at the airport many times going all the way to 2 a.m. And you'd be there with the manager and you would run out of cars, just out. And I would have 70 reservations at 1 a.m. by myself, standing at the counter with my little fucking tie like a retard. And I would see hordes of people coming down the escalator to come to the rental place. And I'm just like trying to amp myself up like it's game 7, like, whew, all right, you're going to get yelled at by at least 75 of those people. It's okay. It's okay. Then they all get in line.
It's 75 out of 70.
75 out of 77, they're going to yell at me.
Okay.
Some of them have wives.
Some of them have wives there. None of them, though, because they're getting in. They get in at 2 a.m. Most of them off of planes that were so delayed. They just want their car, and they just want to go home.
And they have a reservation, but you didn't reserve one.
They have a reservation, and every time, 15 minutes before that plane lands, the manager would go, it seems like you got a good handle of things, Taylor. I'm out. And they would leave. Just to be me there. And they would come in and you talk to the first guy in line and he's like, slaps his fucking credit card and license on the table, not pleased. Boom. Reservation Thompson. We're out of cars, Mr. Thompson. What? I have a reservation. The best you could hope for in that situation is that the guy would say the Seinfeld line and I would go, But like that was the best you could hope. Usually you would get screamed at, berated. They'd ask for your name. They'd like call and complain. I'd have to try and be like, the reason they did this is because they're trying. By the end of my tenure at this company, I was like totally like Stockholm syndromed with the shitty customers. I'd be like, we're all in this together, guys. We're all in this together. I'm so sorry. I hate this as much as you do. I make $30,000 a year to get screamed at. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. And just doing that.
You want to rent my car? I could use the cash.
What you get to do then is I have to like lean over and talk to the Hertz guy and be like, Tom, please, can you get some of these people going? He's like, Taylor, I'm so sorry, dude. We got like 2 cars and I got to save them. And so I would have to stand there until like 4:30 in the morning with every one of these people, calling cab companies to take them where they need to go, then paying for it over the phone with the corporate card. And then after one of the companies runs out of cabs, I have to find a new cab company for all these people. It was the fucking worst job. It sucked. You get yelled at constantly.
I would be so mad.
It was awful. The only good part of that job is that if somebody came in hot and like you could even whiff just the slightest of alcohol, you could shut it down. Nope, not renting to you. You smell like whiskey. You smell like, and it was only a couple times that a person would come in like stumbling drunk and yell at you because you wouldn't rent them the car they wanted. Also, there's a fundamental misunderstanding about how reservations work. You do not reserve the car. You're not reserving anything.
That's how reservations work, though.
No, for everywhere else. Yeah. Rental car companies, they shouldn't call it a reservation. They should call it a consideration.
They should call it a prepayment because that's what it is. They're just you're just signing.
Woody and I showed up at a hotel once, and they'd given our reservation away.
Oh yeah,
and I think we said, "I don't think you know how a reservation works."
Yeah, I think we did.
You don't know how a reservation works. Do you know how many times I wanted to leap over that counter and strangle someone to death for saying that Seinfeld line for the 100th time that day? And it was infuriating because the fucking
Why didn't you put a sign up that said "all out of cars"?
We would. But there's still 80 reservations for the top of the hour, and they still think that when they hop off the plane, they're getting it.
Yeah. If there was no more cars, but I had a reservation, I would think you only have the reserved cars left.
I'm sure you have the vocabulary to make a sign that explains that.
These people are not wanting to read.
Yeah, but if you could just peel off 20% of them, you know?
I think I'd still need to hear it. I think I'd still be like, well, wait, I have a reservation. Because I know how reservations were supposed to work.
Yeah, there was
I make a sign. All reservations are null and void. We are out of cars. Zero, with the word zero, cars.
Now, are you out of cars or are you out of clean cars? What if I have low standards?
So usually the way it works is like those late night ones, there's no car preps there. And so you're literally out. But how it is sometimes, if it's like 5 p.m. and someone shows up and they have a reservation, it's like, I need a minivan. I have to like phone over to the car preps, who are the most degenerate group of no good nicks on earth. You leave anything in your rental car, that shit's getting stolen by one of the ex-cons that work in the car cleaning. I would get asked twice
I knew that.
a day.
They were gifts all along.
Twice a day, I would have to go down there with those animals and be like, did you guys find an iPad? And they'd be like, nope. Like, smile at me. And I'd be like, you motherfuckers, can you please give me the iPad? And they're like, what iPad? And I'm like, I don't get paid enough to deal with this. And so I just go back and say, I don't have that. We just had, if somebody lost a Garmin or something, we just had a bucket of them. Someone could have walked up and been like, hey, I lost 100 Garmins. I'd be like, just fucking just take them. I don't give a shit.
Garmin, the GPS? Like, weren't those?
GPS or something like that.
Okay.
This was like 7 years ago, and so people were still using some of those.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of other shit that was just the fucking worst. Oh, we had I had a guy, I got in like a 30-minute argument with a guy that he was smoking in the car, and he was saying that there's no evidence of that. I know my rights. There's no evidence that I was smoking in this car. And so I did what they teach you to do, which is like open up the back rear front door, look at the bottom. There's a pile of ash there. That's how you know they smoked. Didn't have to do that, though, because there were dozens of cigarette burns in the seat, in the upholstery. Wow. It was a Kia Soul, and it looked like it had been to Vietnam and back.
He put out his cigarettes on the upholstery?
Dozens of times. Just speckled shotgun looking thing.
There was no evidence.
I have it. I'll have to send you guys the picture. I guarantee if I go back to like 2013, I have that shit on my phone because you'd find weird shit in people's cars. You'd find dildos, sex toys. We found a costume once where
those
you
are gifts for the cleaners, Taylor, and I'm surprised you're less appreciative.
One guy we found, he called back to ask. I'll send this too. It's a giant costume that you wear over your whole body, and it has an S on it, and it makes you look like a sperm. Costume. And so this guy had to call at one point, and he was like, yeah, I left a costume in the back of the car. And I was like, what kind of costume, man? And he's like, It's a sperm costume.
You know the costume, Taylor.
I know. I'll send you that picture too. At the time, I just wanted to hear him say it. I had the sperm costume in the office. It was making me laugh so hard. And the only place
I'm actually wearing it right now. This thing's pretty kick-ass.
Pretty cool. No, I didn't put it on. It smelled weird. And the only place where in the air, probably it was a little bleachy. But the only place where it's in the airport that I worked was at an insurance replacement branch. So you know how most times if you're renting a car out of town, you pop by a Hertz, Enterprise, whatever, you go in, just a normal what used to be a bank usually, and it's like, hey, give me whatever the hell, and they go, here you go, and they take it. An insurance replacement branch is when you get in an accident and it's at a body shop and they need to drive their shitty car, have it towed there, and then they get a horrible replacement car from you. And none of these people know, for the most part, that their insurance doesn't pay for rental cars. You have to opt into that in a lot of situations. And so they'll show up furious, like not even the chance to put them in a good mood. So you're like sitting there in the middle of a warehouse like, how's it going, Mr. Jefferson? And he's like, well, I totaled my new car. How's your day going? And it's like, well, I regret to inform you, your insurance will not be covering the rental. How do you prefer to pay? It's like, oh, no, I'm not fucking paying. I'm not. You call my insurance. And then they yell at you. They scream at you. They call you incompetent. They say, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking loser. Like they're mean as shit once they're in their zone of being pissed. One guy, it was in a bay, was so, I guess, not paying attention that there's a car in the front of the bay talking to the insurance person. At the entrance to the bay is where the rental place is, where they get you set up. There was a car pulled up to the insurance thing. Thank God no one was standing in the way. This guy must have came into the bay going 22 miles an hour, and he just slams into the back of this other car that's already there for repairs. And there's just fucking glass and shit all over the place. And then he gets out and yells at the lady who had that car there as if she was wrong. And he's like, these people are degenerates. They are the fucking worst a lot of the time. And then other times, you'll come across the sweetest people in the world. My first day on that job, where I was working there, they tell me, Taylor, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, how to write contracts yet. Go pick up this lady. She's at this apartment complex. You don't know where it is. And so I had to look it up on my phone. I get over there, and there's like, I don't know what the hell was going on, but there were like a bunch of cars on the curb with people in it. And so I pull up my car there, and I don't know where to go because it's an apartment complex where there's just like stairs come down, and I just wait. I didn't know what to do. I didn't ever number anything. I just wait. And then I'm playing on my phone, and I'm startled because the door, my rear side passenger door opens, and this woman just starts going, oh, thank God you're here. My goodness. I got to strap my kid in the back. Do you mind I do that real quick? She starts strapping her kid in. I haven't said anything at this time. She gets the kid strapped in, and she goes, I left my wallet in there. Give me 1 second. Closes the door. I didn't say anything. I haven't said anything so far. I'm now in the car alone with, I think,
in possession of her child.
The 4 to 5-year-old child alone. And like, that is the worst parenting I've ever seen, because I was not the only guy sitting there. There were 5 or 6 people sitting on that curb in a car. I don't know why. But for all she knew, she walked up to a random car, buckled her kid in, and left, because I gave no affirmative acknowledgement of it. It was my first time. I was a little nervous. And so that was weird. That job fucking sucked. I got to think of funnier stories for it. Right now, I'm just kind of ranting about how much I remember. That job sucked. I was desperate for money. I was just out of college. I didn't have hardly anything. Like I needed a fucking job, and they were the first one that called me back. Went in, interviewed, got it done, and I was like, that's what I got to do now. I got to make money.
Yeah, rental car companies hire a lot of people fresh out of college. Every major,
and they all leave within 2 years.
Yep.
The turnover time in those companies is the worst, because you get paid shit and they work you. They tell you when you're getting the job, so you're prepared to work 48, 50 hours a week. And you're like, yeah, that doesn't sound hard. I don't think I worked 50 hours a week in the entire 2 years I was there. It was like always 60, 70, so much time. And you've never felt like as much of a fucking goober as when you show up to your new job wearing nice clothes, and the first thing they tell you to do, nice ass new patent leather shoes, and the first thing they tell you to do is to go wash a car in a bay with an indented part that goes to a drain. And so day one, you've got soap that's ruined your shoes and the bottom of your pants. And you're sitting there in the heat of the summer, scrubbing a Honda Odyssey in the middle of a damp bay in a suit like an asshole.
I would quit on day one.
I didn't have enough money to quit. I had to work. Like,
I'd tell her, like, I'm wearing a suit. like, can I go get some khakis and a polo, or like, is there a uniform here?
That
wasn't there a uniform, like khakis and a polo?
No, it was dress pants, khakis, and then a long sleeve white or light blue shirt and a tie.
See, this is why I use Avis. Y'all are too stuck up over there.
You're preaching to the choir. Don't use Avis. The best one is use National, because National, you sign up for their Emerald Club, and then you don't have to talk to a single motherfucker at the airport. You
I
go
like
out,
to talk. I negotiate.
you scan it. You're not going to negotiate with one of these companies that well.
I always get a free upgrade.
Free upgrade. Those are, what they do is they add.
I'm a mid-size to a full-size SUV.
You know what was the worst is when someone would come in and it'd be like, I rented an economy Toyota Corolla. And it'd be like, ma'am, I've got such a treat for you. A brand new
Camry.
Ford F-250. Hold the phone, ma'am. Hold the phone. This is a free upgrade for you. A free upgrade into and every time. The reason I'm doing it is because that's the only car on the lot, and I'm trying.
Of course.
And then she'll be like, that's a little too much car, and I'm just driving to Provo to see my nephew and the gas mileage on that. And I'm like, ma'am, have you ever heard of Sirius XM? Because this comes with Sirius XM stuff. This woman is 5'0" and elderly. Trying to just grind her into a fucking never
You're
worked.
Exaggerating, not really a 250.
It was a 150.
Still, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I always try to like upgrade, like an upgrade that makes sense though, like a V6 to a V8, or like a.
What do you say to get it?
I tell them what I want. I just start a conversation with them, like yeah, it's gonna be kind of tight in that Explorer. Can you just get me in an Expedition? I saw some out there.
If you want to get free upgrades like that, like if you're paying for something that's $20 a day and you want a car that's $55 a day, just tell the person at the counter and go, hey, I want a free upgrade, but I'll also buy roadside assistance protection from you. So then you get a sale and it's all fine. And that's only an extra $4.99 a day. So basically you're getting a car for $35 that's more expensive. You pay $4.99. We're both happy and look good. And 100% of the time people are like, oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
So many times I've gotten free stuff or free upgrades just in life, just by asking. In car sales, we call it asking for the sale. Somebody be like, yeah, you didn't buy the car. Did you ever ask him to? What do you mean? Did you ever say, buy the car, sign here? No, I would never be so direct. It's like,
Jesus, that's day one. You have to ask.
Like, don't be a pussy. Like just ask. With everything in life, it's always just like figure out what you want and go for it. Like somebody was like, how could you possibly get a girl to agree to a three-way? It's like, ask. Like, hey, I'd like to do this. What about you? No? How about for $500? Yeah, huh? Oh, well, I knew you weren't that much of a stickler. Well, just ask for the sale with everything. Ask for anything, like whether you want a library card or an upgrade at the car rental place or whatever. Just ask.
So if you want a nicer car, go to. So here's the trick that I'll do if I want something nicer. Is you never walk up to a rental car counter and say, I'm a walk up. I don't have a reservation. What are your rates for this? Because you have total control of what to do. And there were times that our managers would tell us, like, hey, if they ask, a Yukon's $400 a day because we've only got one and we have to save it. And eventually, someone will come up and be willing to pay that. But if you want a cheaper thing and more people have it, go to a different rental car place, get a quote, then go to a second one, get a quote, and then go to the one that you originally wanted, ask for their what their listed price is, first look online, and then tell them you'll pay $10 more for it per day. Because in their system, even though that's cheaper than the two previous places you found, those are just excuses in case they need to bring it up. But you just tell them, hey, I know that's listed at $130. You guys just said you're charging $400 a day. How about I give you $140 a day? That way you get your nut, I get mine, and I'm not wasting an extra $260 a day. So always look up what the rate is online before you walk up to the counter, because if it says 140 online and they say it's 400, you show them that and they have to honor it. And well, they don't have to. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But just tell them, always tell the salesman you'll pay an extra 5 or 10 a day for whatever they want, and they will do it because they don't give a shit. They do not fucking care. So, yeah, just offer to buy something most of the time. Never pay the upgrade price. It's absurd.
It makes sense.
Absolutely absurd. So, yeah, and that is all I've learned from that. Totally useless information piled in my head. Do you know how fast I could work that DOS prompt system? Tab F4, pop, 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 pop. It was horrible. It looked like swordfish hacking. Like, that's it was literally that. It was tab F1. What's your driver's license number? You have insurance. F1 F4. You know, all that.
The airplane people are the same way. They're hitting keys at a lightning pace. Yet for some reason, it still takes 18 minutes to check me in and check my bags. How much does your system suck?
It was so bad. It was baffling. Bafflingly bad. They're still using the same system that I left 7 years ago, and holy shit!
If it's DOS based, it's from like the 80s, man.
It was an improved DOS system from 1994. Is what we were using.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it was just black background and then like blinking green digits.
Well, come to think of it, like the car sales program, I can't think of what it's called. It's the same shit. We call it the blue screen, and it's it's a blue-black. It's a blue background, and it's just super, super simple. Just no interface capable. Like there's no like scanning anything in. Everything is manual prompt, and it's just.
It was pretty sophisticated when I bought my last car at the Toyota place. Like where I signed it was all the credit card where you sign, but you can't see what you're writing. It looked like that, but really high tech. It looked like an Apple version of that. Some clean interface, and he had a nice clean interface on his screen. Must have been in the last couple of years.
Oh, that was that'd be the insurance guy if you're seeing that.
He was
right? Not insurance, but like finance.
Finance guy. Yeah. He was that guy.
Yeah.
The guy up front, I think it was a Foursquare. I called it a Foursquare, and he looked at me like I knew what I was talking about.
We had a game at the airport. So like my manager, very nice guy, but horrible at handling like conflict with customers. He was too nice. He wasn't good at putting his foot down ever, and would end up just giving them the farm if they asked for it. And so after a while, there was one time where people were asking for a manager in a hectic situation, and I was just like, yeah, that's me. Just lied and then handled it okay. And so from then on at the airport, like when there was a really horrible customer, they would call an audible called pretend manager. And I was pretend manager. And so like I would get calls and I was doing fleet management stuff, and it'd be like, hey, what's up? And he'd be like, fleet manager was like being outside, like organizing what cars go where. It's like after you graduate from finishing the ticket writing, or at least it was at this branch. And he would call out to the booth and be like, hey, Taylor, we got a really rowdy one here on line 2. Can you pretend manager for us? I'd be like, and I loved pretend manager. It was so much fun to be pretend manager.
I like to think you did accents for no reason.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah, and it would just be shit like answering the phone. Taylor, manager of the airport. And they'd be like, I was just talking to someone and they are not refunding the $40 that you owe me. And then I would just like make up managerial protocols a lot of the time. Where I'd be like, we have something called the T2 form. You're going to want to dial him back. Make sure you get that. That's called a lost item form. Now you're going to transition that from me to the actual airport security. They know exactly where to file. A lot of this was just buying time for the manager to figure out what it was. So you're going to call them, ask about that, and then you ring us back and make sure you have and then just list off a couple, your insurance card number, your just stuff to slow them down to make it so we can actually find what they lost or get what they need. And I would just send these people on goose chases. And just absolute goose chases to find all these things. And then usually by the time they got back, it'd be like, oh, it's all, you don't need any of that. It's all sorted. It's all. And then other ones, the most fun one of those, there was this like really effeminate, short, fat guy who he came in right into the front and he said, I reserved a Chevy Tahoe and I don't see a Chevy Tahoe. I just walked your lot. He was giving me that head shake and that condescending. I just walked your lot. I reserved a Chevy Tahoe and it is not there. Do I need to go to a competitor? Do I need to call my friend who is a lot higher up here in you at this company? Do I need to do that? Do I need to do it? And I remember doing pretend manager, and I was like, "Sir, you're acting erratic. Have you been drinking?" There are other people in line. He's like, "The fact you would even ask that says more than enough. I'm definitely ringing him. I'm ringing him." I'm like, "Sir, as far as we are as a company, I'm sure you know a lot of people who are high up here, and I respect that. You've just come in here in a way that I no longer feel secure renting our property to you. I apologize for the inconvenience. If you'd like, I could call you a cab and get you where you need to be. It's just our property and yourself, sir, for your own safety. I don't know if we feel it's the best idea that we give you a vehicle at this time." And like keep it way tamped down so that the comparison between us is extreme, that anyone around is observing that I am the one who's right. And so, oh man, if I could go back there for
Such a
day,
piece of shit. I hate you.
all I would do is be pretend manager.
I just came here to get my Tahoe, and it's not here.
Sir, are you on any drugs right now? Because you're acting very erratically. And is that a blade you have?
Is that a blade? He's got a knife. He's got a screaming in there.
I don't know about it, but I feel like I smell alcohol and pot on him.
I think I smell. Is that plastic explosive? Do you have
I don't
plastic
smell it.
explosives?
Let me tell you why, though, he was freaking out about the Tahoe. Because I told him, you only reserved a class of car. You didn't reserve a Tahoe. We're giving you a Suburban or whatever the equivalent
Wow.
was. And he would not take it. He refused. He thought I was lying about going out there. And so he went and walked the lot, which took him way too long to walk the entire fucking airport lot and then come back and get mad. And so it was definitely his fucking fault. He could have just taken the Suburban and left instead of screaming at me in front of.
You should have leaned in close and whispered that to him. You could be leaving with a Suburban. So I'm going to humiliate you in front of all of these people.
Yeah, and I still remember the person who came, and what ended up happening in the end, it was all fine. He ended up calming down, and then actual manager, who I said was the branch, the higher manager, he
This is Mr. Hertz himself.
And then, hey, suddenly when you tell someone you're not getting a car, suddenly the Suburban seems like a great idea, doesn't it? And he was more than happy to take that Suburban by the time it was done. And literally the next lady in line, or it was maybe a couple after, because there were dozens of people in line as we're having this bout of frustration, were like telling me, "I'm so sorry." I'm so sorry.
We're such fucking sheep.
Yeah, don't be sorry. I was actually fucking with him. That went perfectly from my perspective.
Oh, I didn't smell anything. To be honest, I have a Suburban, a Tahoe. I got all kind of shit back there. I just have a little fun.
The secret is I did smell whiskey, but that was me.
Yes. I mean, I'm drunk as shit, and I'm high.
I'm fucking wait. I smelled my own burp, I think. Just fucking
To be honest, I crashed the Tahoe last night, and that's why it's not available.
I'm going to the funny ones, but for every one of the funny pretend managers, genuinely, there were 20 times that I handled an actual problem way fucking better than my managers, just because I wouldn't get all sheepish or I wouldn't get all like flustered and yell like a couple of them would. So
what's wrong with sheepish though? Like, I know when I had people do customer support at Woodycraft, I had to get people off of that job or even fire a couple because they try to win at customer service. And it's like, no, winning at customer service is when the customer walks away happy. That's how this is done. Yes. If you battle this guy in some sort of argument and you clearly come out on top, great. That doesn't help Woodycraft at all. That sucks.
Yeah. See, the thing was, like, at least in this business, it was like, if you're too sheepish, like some sales or managers people were, like, you would get bullied into renting a car like a Tahoe for $19 a day. And then it's like, we're hemorrhaging money on this. Like, people are getting mad. And so that's like the level of sheepish I'm talking about, is managers letting themselves get absolutely stomped on.
But who cares about the bottom line?
I don't care. I just don't want to get yelled at by the area manager who would come. This fucking weirdo who worked there, the area manager. I remember he was so strict. You had to shave every day. And you
I remember that.
Yeah. And I remember there was one, me and my buddy, we worked at the insurance replacement branch at this point, and it was the redheaded stepchild of the entire area. He never came to our branch because it was a shithole. There weren't enough chairs for all the employees. We had to stand most of the time. We got so bored in the middle of that warehouse. I'm saying we got so bored in the middle of this warehouse, those bays, that I ordered off Amazon a cheap hockey net and some sticks, and we would just play hockey in there sometimes when it was slow. But this guy, me and my buddy Sean, who worked there, both of us were low little underlings, and we had made it 3 weeks without shaving. It was a game for us to like play, chicken and see how long we could go. And so like I'm for weeks now, no fucking tie, sleeves all up, beard, don't fucking care. And then there was one time where I wasn't paying attention, and I was just sitting like doing something on the computer, and then the area manager comes in, he goes, "Well, hey, Taylor." And I was like, "Hello." I've got a full beard, sleeves up, shirt's dirty, no tie.
I'm not Taylor. This is a disguise.
Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was doing callbacks for overdue cars. And he's like, yeah? Are you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, haven't shaved in a while, have you? And this guy was such a passive aggressive fuck. He would never actually call you out. He would just make little office space like, right, we're going to need you to shave that by Monday. If you could do that, that'd be great. And so then I figured, this bitch is never going to get onto me for anything. And so I could just do whatever I want as far as not shaving and rolling up my sleeves and not wearing a tie. And so that's what I did. So it all panned out. Other than that, I was a great employee.
That's a long list of that's.
Yeah. You've been going for 35 minutes. This was a deposition.
Pretend manager was a good bit, and I'm never backing down from pretend manager. And it was mostly helpful.
I think helpful for you passing the time, but as far as fuck. Okay.
When you worked your 60-hour plus a week, how many hours did you work?
I never really counted like the driving time as working that much because that was so easy. But other than that, like you're fucking standing, typing tickets and doing back stuff the entire time. You're doing shit, and then like managers will pass stuff off, and so they'll be like, "Hey, we got a." And then sometimes, it was fun when you got to do this. They'd be like, "All right, we got a red minivan." I had to do this a couple times. There was this dirt poor trailer park in rural Idaho, and they were like, "All right, well, it's been 4 weeks since we've seen this Chevy. Who wants to go out and take a look? Who wants to go drive the trailer park and ask around, see if they know where it is?" And I would always be like, yes, this is so cool. I want to do that. And so I'd drive around in a trailer park, and like if anyone was standing, I'd be like, "Hey, have you seen a red, really new looking van recently?" And like it was like sleuthing. I never actually found any, but it was fun.
Jesus.
I didn't expect it to be such hard work. My impression was that planes roll in, you sprint for 15 minutes, and then wait an hour. But I guess not.
It was like they would have you show short staffed. It'd be like, all right, planes coming in. You're going to be busy for 40 minutes writing those. And then as soon as you're done, you bust your ass down to the wash bay and you start washing cars. And so I've washed, even wearing your suit, I washed thousands of cars.
I didn't know the people at the registers wash cars when I wasn't there.
Such bullshit.
Yeah, forced to wash the cars because the car preps down there don't give a shit. They never see the customer, and so like they'll do a half-ass job, and then
they
like
weren't caring like you were.
I didn't want to get yelled at by the customers and stuff, and I did. To be fair, every branch I worked at, their like score of customer satisfaction, the time I joined to the time I ended went up significantly. So I did fucking help, and I did work hard at those jobs. I really did, because I would. You've been in that situation where you feel like enough people aren't busting their ass that it motivates you to bust ass, where it's like, what am I, like one of these people? Like one of these lazy fuckers? No, I'm at work. I'm going to fucking work. And so, but those days would come and go. Some days you get berated by enough people at 11 a.m. You're like, I'm just going to go lose myself at the Mexican bistro upstairs for a while and hope nobody asks for me.
It takes me 35 minutes to poop. Nothing I can do about it. I'll be back.
Oh,
I'd just go out in the parking lot and fall asleep in a Suburban for an hour or so.
There was a guy that got fired because he did it every day for like a month.
I did it a lot. You know, I had a hard time getting my sleep in at night. We were always partying. We'd be up until 3 a.m. and then have to be at the work at like 9 or I don't know, maybe 8:30. So around 11 a.m., I just go out in the lot and find something comfy to get in and
Yeah.
take a little nap.
Take a little nap. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't get away with doing nothing because they would keep like a tally of how many tickets or contracts you'd written that month. But I even convinced my manager at one point. He's like, Taylor, your sales are terrible. Are you even asking to sell insurance anymore? And I told him, this is the one who asked me to do pretend manager all the time. I was like, no, I'm not asking anymore. And he's like, you have to at least ask, man. And I was like, let me put it to you this way. Our customer satisfaction has skyrocketed. Why? Because we're moving so much faster out of here. So you got 4 people working tickets trying to sell, and they're writing 200 to 400 tickets a month. Then you got me banging them the fuck out over here. You got insurance, hell yeah. And I've got the line moving. I'm writing 1,000 a month, just tearing through this shit. And so I didn't think he would buy that, but he did. So I didn't have to try selling anymore after that. But I helped with customer satisfaction. So don't work at a rental car place unless you're just out of college or you luck out, because it sucks. It's no fun.
But the story I was going to tell was when I helped somebody move when I was like 19. It was that Sergey guy, one of the guys that I based FPS Russia on that I worked
Drink
with.
that really, like those big bottles of retardedly strong beer.
Yeah, no, that was my roommates. They liked the Polish and Lithuanian beers that were like 10.5% and liter bottles. But Sergey introduced me to Nemirov vodka, this honey pepper vodka. Sergey needed to move. Sergey was 40, and I'm 19 or 20, and but we were good friends, like we were selling cars together, and I liked Sergey a lot. He was Ukrainian, and he always had some hot takes. Real fun guy. The other Russian at the dealership was Russian, and he'd been Russian military. He had served in Afghanistan, and his stories were about sniping out Afghanis during the Afghan conflict that they had. And then he'd always sort of look at Sergey. He's like, where were you in the war, Sergey? Because he knew that Sergey's family was rich and he'd gotten a medical deferment. It was just his way of like rubbing his, like putting one over on Sergey because he didn't serve Mother Russia back in the day. And but I go to help Sergey move, me and my buddy Saulius, Lithuanian guy, and we moved for him like for hours, multiple trips in a box truck. And he was super cool. Like he bought us pizzas and several 6-packs of beer, and we had a good time. We got nice and drunk, ate all that free pizza, and like I was more than happy to do it. And he was great because everything was already boxed up, right? You didn't get there, and it's like, well, I've still got to organize. I was like, no, let's get the heavy stuff first, and then we'll be done. And that was it, and we got everything done. I loved Sergey. Sergey was a great guy. He's the one that invited me to rape that girl that time. That's how much Sergey liked me. That's how great. That's how tight me and Sergey were, right? He invited me along for a rape.
Jesus Christ.
That's how you know you're fucking blood brothers, right? I bet I could call Sergey up right now and be like, Sergey, it's Kyle from 2006 at North Point. Remember me? Yes, comrade. You want to rape some bitches? like he'd be down, right?
You have come around to offer.
It's not too late.
She's still here. Yeah, come on.
It's not too late.
A few more weeks of not raping, please. You have to get off probation.
I know. No rape from me. It was like this hot ass secretary we have, Jeanette, who was from, where's the place where Slobodan Milosevic was the dictator?
Jesus Christ.
Clinton bombed him in like
Yugoslavia,
in the
Serbia, I think. I'm going to check that. That's my bet, though.
Serbia, Bosnia,
that's the one. Bosnia, I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
She was this hot fucking blonde Bosnian chick with a huge ass. Like I don't know what the genetics are like in Bosnia, but she was
It's Serbia, by the way.
Okay.
It's all that fallout.
Then Serbia. She was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Serb who was Jewish and had like this massive like dump truck of a fucking ass. And just
Pixar mom.
Just a Pixar mom booty. And just fascinated with this chick. And I was always hanging out with her at reception. And side note, there was this Turkish guy with cross eyes who had like long, greasy hair. And I'll never forget him like trying to like, I don't know, like alpha me or something one day. Because he was like 8 years older than me and being like, Jeanette, who is more attractive? Borat? His name was Borat. I swear to God, This is before the movie Borat came out. His name was Barack, but he said he pronounced it Borak. Who is more attractive, Borak? And he sort of like did this,
Borak,
or Kyle? And she's just like, Kyle? And he's like, ha!
I am here for
You do not know what attractive men look like, clearly. First of all, my eyes wide to the side. I see everything coming. Kyle have eyes straight forward. He cannot see danger. He cannot protect you in wolves of Bosnia when they come to cleanse you. And she's just like, oh my God. But yeah, she's the one that Sergey wanted me to help him tag team rape. You know, I'm over it. Like his family's out of town. Welcome aboard, Harley.
Tag team is it okay? Continue. My
No
bad.
face, no case.
Yeah, his Sergey's my Ukrainian buddy, and his family was out of town, and so Sergey invites me over for a barbecue. It's 4th of July, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, for sure. I'd love to see how Russians get down on 4th of July. Let's do it. And he's like, yeah, we're going to have barbecue. We're going to have a few drinks, get some vodka. Great time. I'm like, all right, man, I can't wait. I get there. It's just me and him. It's just me and Sergey. I expected his close family, a little extended family, 2 or 3 neighbors, 2 or 3 more coworkers. I expected 15 people to be at a fucking barbecue. Yeah. That's what barbecues mean to me. No, it's me and Sergey at his kitchen table drinking Nemirov honey pepper vodka, eating these little Russian pickles, and eating like this barbecue meal that he's prepared for me, which was good. Like I don't know, it's potato salad and pork and stuff.
I like this guy.
Wait, did this woman get raped? What happened in the end of this?
Wait, I don't like this guy. I forgot about that part.
It's easy to forget about the rape. Even I do now. I love
everything leading up to it. He seems.
Did he rape her?
So I noticed that he's like Jeanette he's drinking his vodka, and we're both drinking it. We're like halfway through in a bottle of vodka, and he's like, Jeanette is on the way. When she gets here, we have a good time. And he like pours a little more vodka for both of us, and we're just, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be good that there's more than 2 people here at your barbecue, man. It'll be a little less awkward since I'm 19 and you're 42.
You're but the 42-year-old
getting wasted with this man double my age, and we're having a ball. He's telling me stories about Russia and like his family, and I'm telling him stories about small town Georgia, and I'm enjoying it. I don't feel awkward at all until he starts talking about, Jeanette is on the way and we're going to have a pretty good time. And I'm just like, yeah, I guess we will. And he's like, don't worry, the neighbors won't see it. Check it out. And he's duct taped garbage bags to the windows.
That's on you. That's on you to leave for your own safety at that point.
You're
looking for trouble if you're.
I'm just like, I go to the bathroom. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, you coming over to Sergey's spot for the barbecue, right? She's like, yeah. I can't wait to see you. I don't think it's such a good idea. It's just me and him here. It's kind of awkward. I'm leaving soon, so maybe don't come. I'll see you tomorrow at work, though, right? Yeah. Maybe we should get. I'll see you tomorrow. No big deal. I'm like, yeah, I think some people canceled. I don't want to embarrass him or anything. I'm going to hang out with him tonight, and so it's not, feel bad. It is. Boys' night. Okay, I'll, are you going to tell him? Yeah, I'll tell him. Don't worry about it. Don't even call. Don't show up, for sure.
That's the part of the movie where you would open the door to come out and he'd be leaning and he'd be like, who are you talking to, Kyle? You're talking to Janine? Because there is rape going down whether or not she show up.
One way or another, there will be a forced penetration tonight.
Did I ever tell you true story of why I come to this country?
I did jump in halfway through that story, but so your friend was that girl Jeanette?
Yeah,
like you're bringing. So maybe he actually had family, and he was like, "No, everyone canceled. My buddy of mine's bringing a girl over."
She was a coworker. She was our mutual coworker.
Or maybe when she locked in plans, he's like, "All right, it's just Kyle. It's just me and you."
Yeah. When I was selling cars, I was 19, and there was a guy there who had failed at some sort of wear a suit to the board meeting kind of job. and he still kind of had the suit and the haircut, but nothing else. And it was like, shit. Like everybody else kind of seems like they're either hustlers or fuck ups in there. Like that's how a lot of the guys, there's hustlers and there's fuck ups. Like Peyton, the guy that trained me, was a hustler. He made his 10 or 15 grand every fucking month, and he didn't work hard doing it, and he blew it all on strippers and whores. And that was his move. And then there was like fuck ups in there. There was a guy with I guess Tourette's. He had like a lot of tics, like bad ones. Like he was moving around and clickety clacking, and it was bad. But he was enormous, so you didn't want to make fun of him. He's like 6'6", 300 pounds. He's a giant man. He's the guy that almost beat me up one day because I'm 19. You got to keep in mind, I'm just out of high school, and I'm in this work environment with these grown ass men who probably are not happy to come to work every day like me. I'm loving it. Every day I come to work, I might sell a $75,000 vehicle.
Look at me, I'm a grown up.
Look at me, I got a fucking tie on. Look at this shit. I don't know how to tie it. If this knot comes undone, I'm in trouble.
Would you just loosen it every day and then set it aside for the next day? I did that too for a while.
Still do. I don't know.
Can you tie a tie now?
Not. I like a double Windsor. I don't like the basic, simple, like easy knot.
I can only do that one you don't like.
No, I just do simple,
asymmetrical.
Quick and easy.
The single one is asymmetrical. It goes to one side, but the double Windsor, it has this wide sort of like symmetrical look to it. I don't need some crazy like.
So how do you get the double Windsor?
I get my mommy to tie my tie, or my girlfriend, or whoever, and then I never untie it. And I know how to loosen it enough to then, like, if it needs to be like straightened up and made longer or whatever. But if it comes undone, there's a video on YouTube that
I just use YouTube videos. Yeah,
couldn't do it.
You couldn't figure it out.
There was like.
There's one where like the guy is like he has the camera like looking down at the angle you would see, and that's the one I used like before meetings.
I remember spending like 30 minutes trying to do it the night before going to court one time, and finally calling a girl, be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Want to come over? Great.
Hey, I'm a total man child, and I need you to.
I don't know how to tie that bitch."
I do like a reverse Uno on Kyle. Like, hey, I was just thinking about you. You want to come over? And you get there, and there's like an IKEA nightstand to be assembled. You owe me, bitch.
the sink is leaking violently.
Right?
Get on that. No, but I think I took, again, I was like 19. This guy's 40 something and like not happy to be there like me. And he had the ink pad that a stamp goes to, because we would stamp things often. We had stamps, and I took the ink and I put it on his earpiece of his phone.
That's pretty funny.
And then I called him through the internal line from like 15 feet away.
Oh my God.
He didn't think it was funny, Woody.
You didn't get it?
The joke was lost on him entirely.
Oh.
He grown man yelled at me.
That was your initial rainfly situation, wasn't it?
Dude, that was not. Yeah, that was the first, but not the last time that I was screamed at by a colleague for just over, being a habitual line stepper, I guess, as 19-year-old me. I like to prank people. There's a lot of downtime. We had balloons in the showroom, you can imagine, and on Saturdays it was a big to-do, getting the red, white, and blue balloons done. Everybody pitch in, and we'd tie them and hang them everywhere. I'd get a balloon, and I would tape it to the back of the bathroom door, and then I'd put a staple on the wall, and it's one of those bathrooms that's got a real echo to it. It's just a bad design for a bathroom, because every shit sounds like a disaster. But when you'd open the door, that balloon would explode like a gunshot next to your head. And I would do that to people all day long. I would do that to people all day long.
I would fucking hate like the stage I am in life right now. If I had to work with your 19-year-old prankster ass, I was
robbing the vending machine and shit. I was robbing the vending machine, and the general manager comes by. General manager.
How did you do that? Just get it to tip, get it to fall.
You didn't lock it all the way. And I was like, wait a minute, the thing starts turning. It's not locked, and I'm like opening the entire front of the Pepsi machine like a big door, and then there's all the sodas. It's 20-ounce bottles, and I'm getting them. I'm stealing them actively in front of everyone.
Just take them from the top, and no one knows.
No, this is This is a put $1 in, get a soda machine.
I'm following, but I thought when you open the door, they'd all be stacked vertically, and you just take the top 6 or something.
I think there's like rows where where it feeds it out. Right?
There's a mechanism where at the bottom you can slide them out and get them, but because he's left the machine unlocked, do you follow?
Yeah,
I think I'm not picturing it right, but I can follow.
You've seen a soda machine outside of a establishment. You put money in a soda machine and get a soda out. It's one of those machines. He's left it unlocked. I've opened it completely, and I'm robbing it of its contents.
And I am pilfering the pop,
like openly robbing this thing in the middle of the day. And the general manager walks by. By the way, this is the middle of the showroom. I'm not hiding this. General manager walks by.
This is the showroom. It's not even like the back of the.
No, this is right in the front. Everybody's looking. And the general manager walks by. He goes, "Kyle, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "He left it open." He's like, "Oh shit." He like did a little sneaky hop over, like he was in a cartoon, and took like 3 from me and left. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't give a fuck. That guy was great. That guy was definitely a criminal, like outside of the car.
So were you?
Well, I was
stealing all that soda.
19-year-old me, I needed my caffeine. I had to put a good day's work in.
You had to get amped up.
Number 1. Number 2. Pizza pie in my eye. Oh my! Just like.